candidates all in one place. With smart tools like Instant Match, you instantly get a list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your job description the minute you sponsor a job. Spend less time sifting through resumes and more time saying you're hired. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
What makes Autozone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast. Featuring Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. Presented by Timeless Coffee. This is the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Sometimes I like to just come in the morning and let that beat ride. To get us going here at 6:05, now 6:07. A little late to get in, but good morning, everybody. And oh, baby, we're going to have some fun today on a Tuesday. Good morning, everybody out there getting off the graveyard shifts, out there on the roadways, getting to work, getting to your offices. Good morning to Curly and Langford, and good morning to you, Joe Shasky III, a.k.a. The Butcher. We're going to have some fun on the roast today. Baldy's joining us at 7:30. Zaza, nothing easy. Zaza Pachulia, 8:30 here on the morning roast. We'll talk a little Warriors. They'll get ready for the Hornets, who lost last night to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Watched a lot of LaMelo. Triple B's, not a bad player. Watched some NFL. Did a lot yesterday. Had some fun. Shasky, what up?
What's up, dude? I am so excited for today's show because we're going to break down a lot of fun topics, especially with the 49ers. Can't wait to talk to Zaza, our boy, Golden State Warriors. There's just a lot to kind of peel away. Baldy, I can't wait after a victory after a month. We finally get something fun to talk to Baldy about. But I want to ask you what I think to be the biggest sports story no one's talking about.
Right off the rip.
Right off the rip.
Uh-oh.
And again, this can be short and sweet because I know a lot of our audience maybe doesn't care about this. I consider you the quintessential sports fan in terms of if it is a big sport, and it's a big game you're watching. Mm-hmm. It could be the Premier League. It can be college football. It can be college basketball. It doesn't have to necessarily just be Giants, Niners, Warriors. So I think you're a good person to kind of gauge on something like this. Have you been paying attention to the PGL? And I'm not talking about soccer, the Premier Golf League.
I have not.
Okay.
No, not even close. So
here's
Didn't know it existed.
Right, so you know that the PGA Tour kind of exists, right? And it's a league kind of like the NBA or Major League Baseball or the NFL. And it's relatively new in comparison to these other sports that are, a little more steeped with history and a little richer and deeper in its roots. The PGL is forming right now, and this is the analogy that I would use to you. Imagine if 20 of the top 50 NBA players decided, you know what? I think I'm done with the NBA and decided to go play in a different league overseas. Like, no one's talking about this, and it's about to go down in the next couple of weeks. And Greg Norman tried to do this 30, 40 years ago. And so what they're doing is they've got all of this money, this Saudi Arabian oil money, and they're throwing it at all these marquee players. And right now, it sounds at least 20 of the top 50 players in golf are just going to get up and leave the PGA Tour.
Brooks Koepka
is 50-50. Dustin Johnson, 100% is taking the money. He's looking at making $50 million a year.
They're paying these guys $50 million a year to play in their tournament?
Yes.
And then they get money on top of...
With their endorsements and all their other stuff.
So they're going to play in Europe?
Could be in Europe, could be in Asia, there might be an event here in America, could be all over.
Wow.
So, again, just something that I'm surprised that you haven't heard it.
So they would do away with the Masters?
No. So all of the four majors run independent of the PGA Tour. The U.S. Open is not run by the PGA Tour. The British Open, a.k.a. the Open, not run by the PGA Tour.
What's the U.S. Open? USGA?
Yes. It's a different governing body. Right. The Masters is run by Augusta, the Masters. And then obviously the PGA Championship is not the PGA. It's like a golf instructors kind of a tournament, if you will. So the point being here is that they're throwing mad money. Imagine Kevin Durant, James Harden, Klay Thompson, 20 of the top 50 NBA players just going like, you know what? I'm going to go to Canada, and I'm going to go play in Canada. I'm just kind of surprised that this is going down, and no one's talking about it.
Well, you know why nobody's talking about it?
That's because it's golf.
It's golf. We're in the midst of pro football.
Totally.
We're in the midst of the NBA season starting. We've also got a World Series happening.
Yes.
Game 6 tonight. Astros-Braves. Astros going back home, starting Garcia on short rest. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, will I watch? I don't.
People don't even really watch the PGA Tour now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But this is why it's being done.
So is money the main factor? Of going to the PGL? Is money the main factor? Are they going to do points within this league?
So this is what they want to do. This is what they want to do. Right now, everybody's an independent mercenary in the world of golf, right? Independent mercenary. Bonte Hill and his team, as in Bonte Hill's the golfer, and he might have a caddy and his swing coach and stuff, and he goes out and he plays nothing but 72-stroke events, all right? Now, Phil Mickelson is absolutely going to join this league. Phil will head his own team. He's an individual player, and he'll have a team of his own 5 guys.
It's teams.
Yeah.
Teams of 5.
So they're really trying to set this up, but here's the hard part is...
So
Rory
anybody
McIlroy
can join each other's team, or will it be draft picks?
We don't know how they're going to set up the teams. It could be, hey, I want to partner with you, Bonte, but when you're no good, do I fire you?
No.
Do I lose my relationship with you?
Wow.
So it's going to be kind of interesting. They noticed that team sports, people root more for team sports than individual sports. There's more of an allegiance. So they're trying to grab at some of this, and they're paying these guys top dollar. I mean, if you were one of the higher earners on the PGA Tour last year, let's say you made $3.5 million after all your winnings on tour. And Dustin Johnson's sitting here going, I'm Dustin Johnson. I deserve $40 million. I'm the LeBron James.
Right.
I'm the Steph Curry of my league. So now he's going to get $50 million from the Saudi Arabian company.
So I'm reading here the PGL, a new project run by British-based World Golf Group, would include 18 tournaments targeting the top 48 male players in the world, with each event offering prize money far exceeding those currently on the PGA Tour. So what this is going to basically make the PGA Tour do is up their purses, is increase their purses. And if they don't, guys are going to bail. And the launch date looks like they're going to launch in January of 2023.
Yeah.
So we got to wait a year for this.
Yeah. Very interesting. So here's the other part of this. If I jump ship, do I lose my exemption into the PGA Tour? Do they just kick me out? Again, I know this sounds super random. This is the biggest sports story no one's talking about. Imagine Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Just pick the NFL quarterbacks who are like, you know what?
Well,
I'm going to go play in the XFL.
Well, they had the USFL.
I know.
They had the USFL, which, the former president ruined. He ruined that league.
He absolutely did.
Jeff Pearlman wrote a great book about this league.
30 for 30, too.
Great 30 for 30. Very underrated. That league was fun. Hell, the NFL jacked them for the challenges. Jacked them for the instant replay. NFL jacked a lot of things from the USFL. This is very interesting. So I'm looking here. ESPN reported last month that star players, including Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose, Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, had received big offers to play in the PGL. And I wonder if Tiger...
So Tiger is very reluctant because his sponsors don't want to get in bed with the Saudi Arabian money. There's British money, there's Saudi Arabian money. There's a lot of questions on where the money is coming from. So my argument to all of them would be, I make compromises in my everyday life. I know that iPhones aren't made on the up and up, right? Yet I use an iPhone every single day. I'm rocking Adidas. I don't know where these Adidas were made. I make compromises in my life all the time. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I'm a person that is a walking contradiction at every single turn. So I don't know. I don't know what I do. It's a random story that I wanted to throw at you first thing in the morning.
It's random, but it's piqued my interest.
I love how excited you are.
No, seriously. Team sports. You get these guys together, like Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, he's gone.
Because they're gonna have a one-on-one, right? Him and Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
When is that happening?
The day after Thanksgiving.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
It's a great day to have it.
It's a great day to have it.
Because we're all sitting there with the turkey hangover.
And it's in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Look how excited he is for that.
Yeah, you know what? 510. I'm with it. 510. I thought Joe was gonna come with some BS. But this is actually interesting.
And so here's the best part about this, and this is where I'm going with this. If you have team formats, the whole belief is this is easier to gamble on. People want to get the gambling money. They want to get the DraftKings money. They want to get the daily fantasy money.
That's a good point.
Here's the angle that I keep thinking about. If you're a daily fantasy player, a lot of my friends are. I don't know. Are you a daily fantasy guy?
I have not gotten into it. I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Me too.
My guy, Philly Zoo, one of my best friends in the world, out there in Ocean City right now, his company, Swish Analytics, provide the betting lines for those sites.
Gotcha. Well, it's a growing category. Yep. I think we all can agree. No doubt. The people that do it love it, right? They're addicted to it. And so if I'm looking for something to do between, let's say, February and June, July, because there's no NFL, PGL might be available for you to do the daily draft thing.
Is Greg Norman involved? Because I just popped up a headline, why at age 66, Greg Norman leading another charge to challenge the PGA Tour. Sounds like he's ticked off at the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he tried to do this in the early 1990s. He was pissed off. He felt, this is his thing. I'm the LeBron James of my sport.
Right.
Why should I be making only a little bit more than some of these other random guys? And it's like LeBron James. LeBron James is probably sitting there and they have the collective bargaining agreement going, I'm maxed out at $50 million a year. Aren't I worth $150 million a year? Right? So right now there's a salary cap, if you will, on some of these players' salaries in terms of how much they can make. And the big players are like, dude, I got one spot to cash in. This is generational, life-changing wealth. So a random sports story that I just wanted to throw at you.
You know what?
This is a good one.
I had not heard anything about it. I hadn't heard anything about it. ESPN, we don't watch SportsCenter like we used to. Do we read the newspapers? Was it headline stories coming off a weekend? This is the first time I ever heard of it.
I know.
And I kind of like it.
I'm glad that you like it.
And not only do I like it, these players are smart.
Yes.
Know your value. Dustin Johnson, you're going to be able to make $40 million in a year.
Right.
These tournaments are going to have big dollars. Like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, hey, we know out there in Saudi Arabia, you know about Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. You know about the horse racing out there. They're now hosting boxing events. They had a heavyweight championship fight about a year and a half ago with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz right in the middle of Abu Dhabi. Like, there's a lot of money out there that they're just like, yo, we'll bring the events out here. But how cool would it be if you had 18 events and say you had one of the tournaments in Thailand. One of the tournaments in Britain. You had one of the tournaments in the U.S. You had one of the tournaments in Australia.
It should be everywhere.
All over the world.
Exactly.
And with 18, you can set it up for every 2 weeks. Yep. So you get the right hype. You can let these guys travel, get their rest, and then boom, that week of the tournament, they're out there. They're hitting balls, and you treat each of these tournaments like a major. Like we look at the NFL season. Every game matters.
Exactly.
Every Sunday matters.
Exactly.
This is a way for golf to make every single tournament matter. Because, outside of the four majors, why am I paying attention to Canadian Open? Why am I paying attention to some random tournament down in L.A.? Yeah, the Sony Open. Yeah, I don't care.
No, you're 100% correct. And here's the thing. Let's say Tiger doesn't play well, right? Yep. Okay, and he's individually out of it. Well, his team might still be in it, right?
And he may have to hit a shot.
Exactly.
He may have to hit a shot to save his team.
Exactly.
And he could play terrible for the tournament and hit the big winning shot. And it's like, well, Tiger saved the day even though he didn't play well. Kind of like football. Guys play it like crap, and all of a sudden he makes one throw at the quarterback spot and win it.
Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl when he was with the Denver Broncos at the end.
I kind of like this. Now, how do...
I know it's random.
We're going to run this to the random segment. I love how excited
you are.
No, because I wanted to know how the traditionalists feel about this.
So they're losing their minds. I mean, they are losing their minds.
Is Nick Faldo losing his mind?
Oh, dude, but Faldo's kind of iffy because he's European, right? So the Europeans think that...
How does Flynn feel about this?
Hey, I don't know. I'd be very interested to hear what David Fleming thinks about this. I'll tell you this. I know Johnny Miller, who's a staunch American, and I'm sure Jack Nicklaus, staunch American. I'm sure they're pissed. I'm sure they're absolutely
would they be pissed. Just because...
Well, because you're taking away from the history of the game, right? That's what they're thinking that they're doing. But I would say this, man. The way everything's set up now, they care more about the random guy from 50 to 150 than they care about the top 50. You know who you and I care about? The top 50.
The top 50.
We really care about the top 8. We care about Rory, Jon Rahm. We care about Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods. I don't care about all these random, like Scotty Scheffler. Great story. I love him. Nobody cares about Scotty Scheffler. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
So Greg Norman looks like he's set up to be the COO of this league.
He's a money man. They all see him flying around in private jets, and they want some of that private. Remember, Greg Norman had his own clothing line before anyone did, before it was cool.
I kind of like this.
Yeah, I love how excited you are.
I kind of like this, man.
And then you'd be able to pick your own team.
You pick your own team. You have the draft. You pick your own team. And not only this.
Look how excited he is.
The arms race from NBC.
Exactly.
CBS, ESPN.
For content.
ABC, and Fox. If you're Fox,
100%,
and you just got your foot in the door in golf, and I like their presentation when it comes to the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
Buck wasn't bad.
No, he was really good.
Buck wasn't bad.
He was really good.
You imagine if you get the rights to this league?
It'd be huge.
It'd be huge.
It's like soccer. They're looking at it like this is the Wild Wild West. We could really set ourselves up because everybody's looking at soccer right now, and they're saying, how can we add new soccer broadcasting to our portfolio? Right, like ESPN Plus. What are they doing? Get us all the live sports content we can get. Why do you think they're partnered with UFC?
Yeah, no, look, 925, I love it, Blitzer. I only heard a small piece, but now hearing you break it down, I'm all in. I'm kind of all in, too. I'm kind of all in with this.
And you know what we're going to do? When they launch out these teams, we're all picking our own teams.
Yeah, we're definitely picking our own squads.
We are definitely in this.
Definitely picking our own squads.
You're probably, outside of myself, the biggest golf fan on here. Did it make sense what I was trying to explain, and are you intrigued by this?
Yes, I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued. And there was also something else, because I like what golf is trying to do, and they're trying to make their sport more popular.
Yes.
I'm also looking forward, because I think, as you said, 2023, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if the series is going to come out, but they're going to come out with like a reality series where they try and profile every golfer, like in Formula One.
So have you watched that show?
Oh, yeah. It turned me into a Formula One fan during the pandemic when there were no sports, and we're still in a pandemic. But you know what I'm talking about, the heavy part of it when no one was playing. Yeah, it's the type of thing that'll get you into it. So anything that golf could do to make it more entertaining, I'm in on that.
So the Formula One thing on Netflix, I heard it's fantastic, and it's turned so many people into Formula One racing fans. I am not one. I don't pretend to be. But the equivalent would be what, Hard Knocks?
Yes, something like that, except it's in the season. So I guess All or Nothing on Amazon would be the equivalent there. But no one really understands Formula One until you watch the show. Then you realize, it's not all about who gets first and second place. It actually matters if you maybe get 10th or 11th, and then you learn about these guys. They open up to you. You learn about them. You become fans of them, and then you want to watch them on race day. It's going to be the same thing with golf. I think anything they could do to the sport.
I like this.
Are you a daily fantasy guy? I bet on golf at times, and the way that they had the Phil Tiger matchup on the Bleacher Report, the Bleacher app, where you could bet on shots, which was super cool. And the win was all dialed in. With all these casino companies now getting into the content game, tell me they're not trying to get in on this.
Live in-game betting on golf? I may be in on that.
I knew you would.
Like hole 7. Hole 7. Who's going to get the birdie?
Yes.
Who's going to bogey? You're like, this is really, really interesting.
I love how excited you are.
That could be hole by hole betting. That's
what I'm
dangerous.
saying.
That's
It is dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
But it's fun.
But you know
Over
what?
under par.
That's how you get a casual like
Exactly,
me
B.
involved in golf. You spice it up because it's random. After the Masters, like guys don't even play the Memorial. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible.
Yes.
Like and when you look at the purses, when you really break down the purses, like wait a minute, it's only a $15 million purse for all these golfers.
Exactly.
So you break that down between like 80 to 100 golfers. That's a joke.
And now if you're DJ, if you're Rory McIlroy, here's $50 million up front.
$50 million up front.
I mean, you don't have to do anything.
On top of playing for big money.
Payday, whatever happens.
On top of playing for big money.
Wow, this is.
Look how I love how excited you are. This
like
is equivalent of when Clay goes to China and Anta's like, here's $10 million.
Appearance fees.
Make your appearance. Like, and why do you think Clay's wearing Antas?
Darrell Wright had a shoe out there in China. They threw some money at him. It's like, hey, it is what it is.
And he took it. And I don't blame him, and I would too.
He took it. 6'5", they tried doing this for soccer. They wanted to make a Super League. We remember that, but that was a little different, right?
Well,
that's comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah,
and isn't
exactly.
that, like, to be fair, soccer has 160 year tradition. I don't want to shortchange it, but like, and you're talking about
Premier
civic
League,
pride, big
Premier
civic
League,
pride. So it's very different than what it is.
Yeah, La Liga.
So like, if I'm Phil Mickelson, I would have an ownership stake in my team. Now look at what these teams are now valuated at across the sports. So if I'm Phil, I get the $50 million. And you're saying I get, let's say, 20% of my team, which could be worth billions?
Wow. I know Phil's all in on
Phil
this.
is on my side.
Dude, Phil
is all in on this. He
one.
might commentate and golf.
And the big key here to me, the big factor is you can still play in majors.
Yes. Exactly.
That's the biggest key.
Yes.
That's the biggest key to me.
Which is all they care about with their legacy.
Exactly.
It's just the majors.
It's the majors. And then you make your money on the side. Wow, this blew me away.
We have hit our golf quota for the year. I just wanted to give you that.
Did you think we were going to stretch that out for 25 minutes?
No, I thought it was a 4-minute conversation, but I didn't know how engaged you'd be. But
well,
this shows me that what they're doing is working because I said, I consider you a quintessential sports fan.
Yeah, but I'm a casual golf fan.
But that's what I'm saying.
Casual,
but that's who they're
casual.
trying to lure in.
Yeah, no, I'm in. I'm in on this.
I love this.
I'm in on this. I had no idea this was going down. I'm in on this. And we just burned 25 minutes on golf. There's no other show in the Bay that could possibly do that. I don't know how many shows in the Bay can do that.
The boy done brilliant.
Yeah,
we done brilliant.
Peter.
You done brilliant, Butcher. I'm proud of you. Now let's get into some football.
Curly's so mad back there. Get back to the Warriors. Get back to the Niners. Get back to the Giants.
Is Curly even alive?
Did you hear about Donnie Ecker?
Is Curly alive? By the way,
you gotta slow down on Curly, bro.
Hey, no, we're not slowing down on Curly today. He's sagging his pants. He's got his pants hanging off his ass like he's 15. Pull up your pants, son. It's 6 in the morning.
I'm Irish.
Come on, man. All right, let me call Papa Curly for a second. Papa Curly. He needs a belt. All right, we're going to get into the Warriors. We're getting to the Niners. We got some great sound. I want to play something that Damon Bruce said.
Yeah, please do.
Damon Bruce said something that
Gotta hear it.
Gotta hear it. We're going to do that here on the Russell 95.7 game.
Today, on 95.7 The Game, former Warrior Zaza Pachulia joins the Morning Roast at 8:30.
facilities, and a spectacular outdoor balcony. San Francisco's history has a great future. Go to sfhistory.org for rates and availability.
Now, back to the Morning Roast, presented by Timeless Coffee with Bonte and Shasky.
This segment is presented by Golden State Lumber. Lumber and building materials for professional builders and contractors throughout Northern California. Visit goldenstatelumber.com.
Golden State Lumber, have you seen my backyard?
I have seen it.
I mean, come on. You got to go. I'm telling you right now. Go off of Bayshore right there on your way down 101. Take that right off of Tunnel Road. Go check out my guys at Golden Gate Lumber. They've got everything that you need. I built a beautiful fence with the wood that they've got back there. Well, technically my cousin did. Mm-hmm. And then I built an unbelievable deck using the composite wood. I'm telling you, if you live in San Francisco with all that fog and all that condensation, get yourself a composite deck. They've got all the little samples. You take them back to your house. You go check out what the colors look like in your own backyard. I'm telling you, Golden State Lumber.
Stephen Langford on the ones and twos. So far, so good with the beats.
I mean, Lil Wayne?
And the Lil Wayne song is iconic. People forget how good Lil Wayne was.
He was real good.
He had a 5-year run where he was untouchable.
He's made a resurgence, though, this year. He's been featured on a lot of tracks, and he's kind of killing it this
time. He has some good features. No
it's
doubt about
crazy to see because when he first came up, he was super gimmicky when he was Lil Wayne.
Hot, the block is hot. Yeah. But I loved him, though.
No,
he was 14
sweet,
years old. He was sick.
But Juvie was the sickest of Cash Money.
No.
Yes.
No.
Those first 2 years?
Juvie was the first. That was a BG guy.
Okay, BG was cool. I got no problem with BG.
BG was sick. And then you could see Lil Wayne coming. You could see him coming with the block is hot. You could hear him coming with the I need a hot girl. I mean, like he was sick on dude. Lil Wayne, and then he started coming up.
I forgot about that song.
Lil Wayne, he had a run. It may have been only Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie.
The greats
have had runs like him. Now people will say Drake has had a great run, but
he has.
I don't think Drake's last 3 albums have been any good.
There are a few good songs on the new album.
A few good songs now constitutes into a good album.
Well, it's different because everyone drops singles and stuff now. Yeah, like you release a couple singles before the album. Drake's different, but I'll give him his credit. I do think Project Pat got the sickest 6 bars on that entire album, though.
Project Pat is sick.
Come on, man. That's OG.
Come on, man. It is OG. 888-957-9570 is the line here if you want to get it and talk about what we're about to discuss right now. And that's some 49er football here. We'll get to the rookies and because we watched Justin Fields on Sunday, and I wonder if there was any 49er fan who thought, damn, that could have been our quarterback. Right. I was Justin Fields.
I was impressed by him.
I was impressed.
And I think that the Bears have themselves a quarterback. He's got a long way to go, but he's got physical gifts and I think a feel for the game that will only get better as time goes on.
You know, John DeFilippo is his quarterback coach.
Oh, yeah. That's Curly's boy.
That's Curly's boy.
Curly loves John DeFilippo.
He loves John DeFilippo.
Look at him. She's nodding.
Yeah, get the headphones on, Curly. He's about to chime in. I saw his head move faster. I mean, the guy's actually doing some work right now. John DeFilippo. Curly, your thoughts?
He's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. He's just lost today. Curly, my man, is just.
Let's play the Damon sound.
Okay, well, wait, there's Curly.
Oh,
Curly, we got him. We got him, Curly. Curly, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is great radio. This is awesome. All right, John Curly, take a time out. We'll hear from you during the break.
You just bogeyed that.
No, it wasn't John Curly's fault. We're having technical difficulties through the board.
Oh, okay.
So what does he want to say? I'm sure he told you already.
I don't know. John DeFilippo was my man. I don't know. I can't figure out what he's going to say. I never know.
He wanted John DeFilippo to be the 49ers offensive coordinator.
No doubt.
Many years ago.
He loves John DeFilippo. But he's a quarterback coach for Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. And sources say that Justin Fields' pregame workout before the game on Sunday was one of the best pregame workouts of all time.
Oh.
Sources say.
Are we rating pregame workouts now?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I kind of like that.
But David said something yesterday on the show that I want to get into.
It was fascinating.
It was fascinating. And he says something, and you know what? I'm just going to let Damon Bruce take it away when it comes to Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. And I want the audience to chime in, 888-957-9570, because I think this is pretty riveting stuff here.
The Chicago Bears banked valuable experience for their rookie quarterback, while the 49ers rookie quarterback and their quarterback of the future doesn't have a present and is not doing anything to prepare for a better future. I would rather watch the Niners lose games with Trey Lance than win games with Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. That's just how I personally feel about it. I know what the Garoppolo cycle is. He plays poorly. Everybody wants him gone. The team gets desperate. They play that we're the underdog card. They rally behind Garoppolo, who has a big game against a bad team. Everyone starts to believe in him again, and then he has a bad game, and everyone starts to doubt him again, and then all of a sudden they rally around him again, and then all of a sudden they go out and they beat a bad team, and everyone believes in him again, and now everything's good again until he plays poorly again, and the cycle never really ends with this guy. You can't snap the cycle if you don't turn the page to the rookie.
So I think they put
that was yesterday on Damon and Ratto.
It was absolutely fascinating. I was driving around and I almost wanted to pull over and text him right away because everyone's got thoughts when they hear that. So on just this one part, and I want to start from the top here.
Right.
Number one, this is why I love our station, and this is what 95.7 gives. You're not going to get the same opinions out of every single show or every single host, and I kind of love that about our station. We have a diversity of voices and opinions and perspectives, and I think that is underappreciated, number one. Number two, it's how he feels. And I'm not going to tell this man how who's been watching 49er football for close to 20 years what he should feel. This guy did pre- and post-game shows before you and I were even doing these things back in the day. So if he thinks that Trey Lance is the future, he's not wrong on that. Just my particular perspective is that you got to try to win right now if you're Kyle Shanahan. The circumstances around the quarterback right now are bigger than just the quarterback in a vacuum. And so I disagree in one area, and it's just that I still want to win. Do I want to have Trey go out there and lose? No, I still would like to win in either scenario. I agree, though, on his cycle of Jimmy Garoppolo because that's kind of tough to argue. It has been a very similar cycle. Now, I think there have been more ups than were allowed within that cycle.
Right.
But, yes, we do turn on him, and I'm guilty of this. I'll raise my hand. I'm very guilty of jumping on and off the Jimmy Garoppolo cycle, if you will.
It's a very interesting take because I bet you he's not the only one that feels like that.
See, that I think you're right.
I bet you there's a lot of Niner fans who just want to see Trey and they want to be entertained. And if they're not in the Super Bowl hunt, they're thinking maybe playoffs and losing the playoffs. I don't care. That's how a lot of people feel.
I think you're right on that.
And I think they just want to see something different because Garoppolo reminds so many people of an Alex Smith, of a quarterback game manager that we've seen here in San Francisco for basically the last 20 years outside of Colin Kaepernick. We've basically seen the same type of quarterback. And I bet you Damon is not the only one who feels like that. However, do I agree with the take? Nah, I want to win games. I want to win games.
What about No, I'll let you finish.
No, I was just going to say.
I'm sorry.
I want to win games, and if Garoppolo's going to look like that, and you're going to win games, and Garoppolo's going to look like Garoppolo that we've known to come and love or come to hate in the last 4 years, I'd rather win still. I'd rather win. I don't like losing. No, that's just me.
I think most fans want to win.
And as of now, whether we like it or not, it's November 2nd. The Niners are in the hunt for a wild card spot. Yeah. Can Trey Lance bring that to you?
Yeah.
Or if you play him and you start losing games, how many fans? Like, if you win, the fans are gonna come back regardless. But there's gonna be a lot of people ticked off if you throw in Trey Lance and you start losing games.
So this is gonna be difficult for people to understand, but like both of these things can be true. I'm watching Justin Fields and I'm like, damn, like I like watching Justin Fields. There's a glimmer of hope for Chicago now. Like Chicago fans should feel really good. Simultaneously, which might be a contradicting thought, I was also sitting there going, damn, Jimmy looks great right now.
Right.
Where's this Jimmy been?
Right.
Wow, he looks really, really good. Now, did a part of me, a small part of me, want to see Trey Lance at some point? Of course, because selfishly, I think Trey's going to be really good. I do. I think he's going to be really good. But if you're telling me I'm getting that Jimmy Garoppolo, now, again, this is part of the cycle, though.
And that Jimmy was improvising. He was buying time.
I'd say he was spectacular.
He was not pretty. He was like, oh, I'm not just going to check it down. I'm going to actually try to go down the football field.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he needed a homecoming. Maybe he needed to go back home and get a hug from his mama.
He needs to sustain this.
No,
that's the biggest
doubt.
thing.
And he hasn't done that in the last 2 seasons.
But where you are watching Justin Fields, didn't a small part of you say, and again, I think two things on the Justin Fields. A small part of him was going, okay, well, I really like Trey. Should we have looked at Justin Fields a little longer? I don't know.
Justin Fields has improved immensely this season under John DeFilippo.
Absolutely.
The quarterback coach of the Chicago Bears. I like watching Trevor Lawrence, even though Trevor was inaccurate last week. I still was like, I'm looking at Trevor drop back. I'm looking at him roll around. Like, there is something to watching your young, hotshot rookie play quarterback. Believe it or not, I enjoyed watching Mac Jones last week. Like, Mac Jones is, he doesn't run. He's not athletic. But I'm like, I kind of like watching him operate under center. There is something to watching these young hotshots, and we enjoyed watching Trey Lance against Arizona.
Absolutely. That was exciting.
So we're continuing to talk about this.
I want to keep talking.
Yeah, Richie, Rich, and Livermore.
I'm really in on this combo.
And the rest of you callers, stay on hold. 888-957-9570. Do you agree with D. Bruce? Would you rather watch Trey Lance and lose, or would you rather watch Jimmy and win? Damon Bruce would rather watch Trey Lance and lose football games. We'll play the cut again coming back, plus Michael Irvin's response to what Damon Bruce had to say right here on 95.7 in Game.
Right now, Google.org is funding some of the boldest local nonprofits as part of the Google.org Bay Area Impact Challenge. Get to know some of the
a spot, the spot. Actually, with the all-new Nissan Frontier, you know a bunch of them. But the key to these great spots? Being able to reach them in the first place. Your spot is out there. Find your Frontier in the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier with standard 310 horsepower, advanced tech, and 281 pound-foot of torque.
Welcome to Parent-Teacher Night. Oh, yes, Miss Garner.
If you have one of those airline credit cards, you're probably not earning double miles on every purchase.
You're right. My card only gets extra miles on some types of purchases.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles everywhere.
Wait, but where can we use them?
You can use Capital One Venture Miles on any travel purchase.
Venture gets an A+.
Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
From city streets to back roads. From road warrior to carpooler. There are some things you can always count on. Like the reliability, durability, and power of Die Hard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on Die Hard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
It takes two vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
Breaking news on 95.7 The Game is powered by Odyssey and presented by BetQL. Become a better sports bettor. Get smarter to beat the books. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today. Now, back to the Morning Roast, presented by Timeless Coffee with Bonte and Shasky.
You know, sometimes with music, like the day, right? Today's a cloudy, rainy day. And sometimes you need music to fit that day. And I think Langford, nice guy Steven Langford, captures that time and time again. When it's hot, he plays bangers all the time. But so far, like this, I'm feeling the beats. I'm feeling the vibe so far here on the Tuesday. I'm loving this right now.
I'm with you.
This gets me going, man. I'm telling you, good music, when you hear a good rejoin with music, it just sparks shit. It gives you a jolt.
It cleanses your soul.
Oh, man. I love it.
Just like that win for the Niners cleansed their soul.
Man, did it ever. Did it ever. So good to not talk about a loss as this segment is presented or brought to you by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises, as well as our good friends at Golden State Lumber. Lumber and building materials for professional builders and contractors throughout Northern California. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. Richie, Rich, and Sean will get to you in just a second because Damon Bruce said something. Go ahead, Shasky.
No, I was going to say he said something interesting, and I think the initial I don't know why people do this on the social media. Hot take. He said something, and you're going to say, well, it's to the effect of I'd rather lose with Trey than win with Jimmy. Okay. I would say it's more nuanced than that. And what he's saying, and it's more of an investment strategy, I guess. That's the way Damon's looking at it. Look, if I play Trey Lance today, I might increase my chances of losing today. But I'm going to take a short-term loss in the losses today so that maybe he's up to speed at a quicker rate and he's more beneficial in year 2 or year 3 or whatever. You look at like John Elway, Josh Allen, just pick the guy who started from day one and started to elevate and build off all their rookie stuff. I know everyone wants to point to the David Carr situation. You could ruin a quarterback. You know?
Can.
You absolutely can, but there is no specific template that equates automatic success or failure. There really isn't. So I understand exactly what he's saying, and I think that so many people are getting lost in the I'd rather lose with Trey. And what he's saying there is I'd rather take lumps with Trey, not lose necessarily, because I think we all are in agreement Trey can do some things that can also help you win.
No doubt. Here's a quote from Damon Bruce yesterday. Damon and Rattle from 3 to 6 every single day. Or actually not every single day. Monday through Friday right here on 95.7 The Game. And we got a Michael Irvin cut discussing Trey Lance. But here's what Damon Bruce said, because I get what he's saying.
Me too.
I get what he's saying, but here's the cut for everybody out there. We'll get out to the phone lines, 888-957-9570. I see you guys all lined up here. I see everybody talking about it on Twitch and YouTube. So here's what Damon Bruce said yesterday about rather seeing Trey Lance play and lose games as opposed to seeing Jimmy play and win.
The Chicago Bears banked valuable experience for their rookie quarterback, while the 49ers rookie quarterback and their quarterback of the future doesn't have a present and is not doing anything to prepare for a better future. I would rather watch the Niners lose games with Trey Lance than win games with Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. That's just how I personally feel about it. I know what the Garoppolo cycle is. He plays poorly. Everybody wants him gone. The team gets desperate. They play that we're the underdog card. They rally behind Garoppolo, who has a big game against a bad team. Everyone starts to believe in him again, and then he has a bad game, and everyone starts to doubt him again, and then all of a sudden they rally around him again, and then all of a sudden they go out and they beat a bad team, and everyone believes in him again, and now everything's good again until he plays poorly again, and the cycle never really ends with this guy. You can't snap the cycle if you don't turn the page to the rookie.
We'll get to James Wiseman a little bit later. He said some things yesterday at the podium for the Golden State Warriors. We will talk Warriors basketball a little bit later in the show. But Damon Bruce right there, and I understand where he's coming from, because Jimmy Garoppolo, is it going to get better than it did on Sunday?
It's pretty close to as good as you could see from him, right?
And is that good enough against a good team? You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I think
if he plays like that, I think you're in a lot of games.
You're in a lot of football.
I think
games.
You're in. If you give me that Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm gonna win 9 or 10 games.
You can have that Jimmy Garoppolo for the rest of the season, which is a stretch, right? Because he hasn't been consistent since 2019. But he's also been hurt.
Yeah,
he's also been banged up. He looked healthy on Sunday. If I guaranteed you that Jimmy Garoppolo played like that on Sunday, would you still rather watch Trey Lance and lose?
No, if I could bottle up that, but here's the yes.
It's
if
tough
I could
to bottle it up
that Jimmy Garoppolo, I think you can find yourself in a divisional round game, or get lucky and maybe you get into an NFC Championship game. Like I really do. The problem is not Jimmy's best days. The problem are when Jimmy has those off days, because it's so hard for him to string 2 of those games in a row or 3 out of 4, something like that. He'll give you the New Orleans Saint game, and then you get a lackluster first half against the Rams, and then he comes firing out, in the second half. But let's not forget the game against Atlanta where they look completely pedestrian in between those 2 games, right? So
no doubt.
It's not about those individual games where Jimmy shows like what he did. It's can he sustain this for a month? Like, that is yet to be seen. And I think it's hard for any quarterback to sustain excellent play for a month. Not just Jimmy. That's hard for a lot of guys. But can his lows not be so low?
I watched the New York Giants one year bench Kurt Warner. And I believe, and we can fact check this, I believe the New York Giants were 7-1 at the time.
Was this the year he was fumbling a lot?
Kurt Warner was the starting quarterback for the New York Giants, and Eli was sitting on the bench as a rookie. They decided to start Eli, and I believe they lost like 6 or 7 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
What if that happens with Trey?
Oh, people would lose their mind.
People will lose their minds. People want to win.
I agree with that.
People want to see this team go to the postseason. There's something to going to the postseason 4 times in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's looming over this franchise.
Well, I think for the psyche of the coach, too, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think he's kind of out of this conversation, but he should absolutely be included in this conversation.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, I get the Jimmy Garoppolo cycle. I get it. I get what Damon's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is we want to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be entertained. Some people don't care about winning as long as they're entertained. Like, people love watching LaMelo. The Charlotte Hornets have no shot to win an NBA championship. But people will watch Charlotte because of LaMelo Ball and how entertaining LaMelo and that team is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one. I lean playing Jimmy and winning, But I understand where Deep Bruce is coming from. Let's go out to the lines here. Richie Rich and Livermore.
I think we both agree also. Yeah. I don't think Trey playing equates to automatic losses.
No, he gives you a chance to win.
He does. Maybe not as much as Jimmy right now, but by like the 6th week of him starting, maybe he catches up to him. I don't know.
He gave the Niners a chance to win against Arizona.
He did. Let's go out to the lines.
Richie Rich and Livermore. Richie Rich and Livermore. What's happening?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Bonte, my guy? Morning, man. Go Dubs. Hey, check it out. So, we got to win, man. You know how this franchise is, and the state of mind that it's at. We got to win, dude, because these fans are ruthless. And, hey, you might as well throw me on the wishy-washy show from yesterday. You know what I mean? I called you last week, and I said, hey, we're going to go 2-4. Can Jimmy? Can Kyle? And you were like, whoa. Nah, man. That was my emotions. If Jimmy plays the way he plays yesterday, you know what I'm saying? The guy can win, dude. You know what I mean? And when that offensive line does their job, you get production. He was throwing that ball left and right, side to side, all over the damn field. It was great to watch that. And before I go, same thing in KC, right? You got Alex Smith, a straight game manager. He ain't never been no great quarterback. And Mahomes still learned off the guy. What he had to learn, picked it up, and when he came in, he did good, man. So, I take my thoughts back from last week. Let's keep winning with him. And Trey can learn a little something, and let's win, man, because we got to do it. There's no more this BS. We got to keep winning, man. Bonte, right on, baby. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Richie Rich, good call, man. Let's go to Sean at Fairfield. Sean, what's happening? I think he has a different opinion than Richie Rich there in Livermore. What's up, Sean?
Hey, guys, what's going on? First-time caller, long-time listener. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
I think what Shasky said a little bit ago kind of hit the nail on the head for me. I'm kind of with Damon on this. Don't get me wrong, I want to win. Everybody wants to win. Everyone hates losing. Bonte, you say it all the time. You hate losing.
Hate losing.
But
hate it.
But is it, we all know Trey Lance is the long term, and Garoppolo's time with us. It's pretty much borrowed time at this point. So, do I want to win? Yes, but I also want to see Trey get those lumps now. So in year 2, year 3, we're not sitting through this again. We're not watching him get, we're not watching him have to go to the growing pains then. I'd rather him go through it now, and then, if the cards fall, in the right places, we can just keep winning. We can be, we could potentially become one of those teams that's every season competing for a playoff spot.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt. Good call.
That's just my take.
No, it's a really good opinion.
People are going to come for me like that. But
No, you're all good, man. Hey,
this is a safe
sports.
space.
It's just sports. Hey, dude, they come at Shasky and I all the time. We say some ridiculous stuff, and they hold us accountable for it. The New York Giants were 5-2, had lost 2 in a row to go to 5-4 in the season of...
Was it 04?
04.
Okay.
And they made the switch to Eli. Now, with Eli Manning, he lost his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starts.
Not 5?
6 starts. He lost his first 6 starts. All right? He lost his first. They were 5-4. And the Niners are 3-4. But think about that. You're 5-4. And you say, you know what? We're going to the rookie. We're going to the rookie.
It's a bold move. Now, remember,
in New York City.
They flip-flopped with the Chargers that year.
Right.
Remember, because Eli didn't want to play in San Diego. So, yeah, that's interesting.
That's interesting, right?
Very much like the Niners. I mean, the Niners traded more, but they traded up to go get their guy.
So the Giants basically said, you know what? Forget the playoffs. We're going to go to Eli. And there were some very rough moments early on. I'm looking at the box score against Philadelphia. He was 6-21. Looking at a box score against the Washington professional football team, he's 12-25 for 113 yards.
Eli, last night on the Manning cast, he's my favorite of the Mannings.
He is.
He is so aloof and hilarious, and dude, just chill out, Peyton. I love him,
dude. He is,
and him defending the New York Giants is pretty funny.
Yeah, no doubt. Look at my guy Sakti coming in, Warriors pre and post game.
What's he saying?
Producer Sakti, leave me alone, man.
Oh,
you're off the clock.
Personal text?
Personal text.
Yeah, give me what's off the personal record book.
People forget Trey didn't play last year. Skip the season.
So what does that mean? He's set to skip another season, or that means he wants him to play?
It just means he's not ready. Doesn't mean he's probably ready. Or it could mean that he needs to play because he skipped the season.
my thing is, because you haven't seen so many live bullets, nothing would be worse than 2 full seasons with only like 2 or 3 games. I think that's a difficult one. Mm-hmm. We always go to this Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing. Can we put this to bed for just a second? And I can't believe I'm the one here defending Alex Smith. Alex Smith is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo is. Now, did Jimmy have maybe an individual season in a Niner uniform better than an individual season that Alex ever put together?
Absolutely.
Yes. But let me just read you off Alex Smith's. He had 5 really good years for the Chiefs before Mahomes got there. He played 15, 16, 15 games. They won 11, 8, 11, 11, 9. He was 3-1 in touchdown to interception ratio every single year. Pro Bowler 3 times. 3 times before Mahomes took over. So
Pro Bowl doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Look,
it's a popularity contest. But I get you. No, it's fine.
I hear you. I'm building the argument for the guy.
I hear you.
Alex was healthier. I think Alex was more efficient. Mm-hmm. I think Alex was more of a winner guy than Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of the totality of what his body of work was. The Jimmy Garoppolo thing, it's not just health. It's also poor play. It's also turning the ball over. So I think when we talk about, Jimmy and Trey, and we automatically pivot to Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith, that situation was just different.
It's a very different. It's a different coach. It's a different system. It's different contracts. It's a plethora of things. I don't like the comparison either. It's the lazy comparison. By the way, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM, and HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Station, brought to you by DuckDuckGo, Privacy Simplified. Also, Alex Smith. They had made the playoffs. That's the big difference. The Chiefs had made the playoffs. So Alex was going to start. They were a playoff team that thought, what, we can go deep in the playoffs. The 49ers were not a playoff team this season ago.
No. Well, so let me throw this hypothetical at you. You saw Justin Fields on Sunday. Let's just say hypothetically Trey had played in that game. Let's just use this last game as a body of work. Lose with Trey, win with Jimmy. You won with Jimmy on Sunday.
Right.
Let's say Trey plays in that game. And he plays good. He plays good. I don't know what the numbers are. Let's just say he plays good. But you lose to Justin Fields. How would everyone be feeling today?
Should have taken Justin Fields.
You think?
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what the style of play looked like?
I think there's people who watched Justin Fields on Sunday who thought, boy, we missed on that one.
I do
Trey
think
Lance
there are
will
some...
never beat Justin Fields because Justin Fields...
And there's also name recognition with Justin Fields from Ohio State.
You're seeing him at Ohio State. You're seeing him in big games. I fell victim to that. Seeing on a platform against Clemson.
I like Justin
against
Fields.
Alabama. You see him make the throws and the run. The running ability, getting out the pocket. And he throws well on the run. I think in some 49er fans' mind, not only is Mac Jones a guy they pass up on, but he could be Justin Fields as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of fans feel that way. That's the beauty of college football in comparison to maybe basketball and baseball. We get a chance to see these guys in the college. And when you play for Ohio State, Bonte, when you play for Alabama, Mac Jones and Justin Fields, people know who those guys are.
And so far, Mac Jones probably has the best numbers.
Oh, he does.
As a rookie quarterback.
No, he does. We've been grinding the numbers.
Dude, he's thrown for nearly 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, completed 68% of his passes.
Does he have the best team of the rookie players?
I was just going to say that.
Okay. Do you think so? Do you think New England? And
absolutely.
I would also say I think
coaching staff.
I think we underestimate Josh McDaniels and how long he's been a coordinator forever.
And their defense looks good.
Really good.
Their defense is good.
Hey, John, I'm telling you,
Belichick is doing a good job up there, man.
They got the guy from Baltimore on that D line, and that dude is balling out. I love him.
Matthew Judon
I love
in that number 9.
I wanted him opposite Bosa.
Number 9.
Everyone's like, run back D Ford. I'm like, dude, get me Judon.
I don't think everybody was saying run back D Ford.
Well, just everyone.
I don't think everybody was saying run back D Ford.
2019.
I don't think everybody was saying D Ford.
Hey, Judon is a force.
Let's go to Mondo, our guy Mondo in Fairfield. Then we'll go to Matador Mike. What's up, Mondo?
Hey, good morning, guys. So my thing is, with all respect to Damon Bruce, when did the Niners become the Bears or the Jets or the Lions where we want to lose no matter who the quarterback is? I mean, I went with what Bonte said a while ago. Like, you know what? I expect playoffs. So even if we put a rookie quarterback with good coaching, we can run the ball, we can do things, and we can still make the playoffs. So, I mean, I get it. We want to play Lance, but if we got Jimmy to play and let Lance learn, Trey Lance learn, I mean, I'm for winning, man, no matter what. I mean, seriously, when do we become the Jets? Like, is that our expectation now? No?
Hey, the Jets are in. No, look, you're right. The Jets are in complete disarray. Speaking of rookie quarterbacks, the Jets wake up this morning and they saw some random quarterback throw for 400 yards. And
Jet fans are not happy with Zach Wilson.
Mike White,
excuse me. Mike White.
Oh,
what did I say?
White,
Mike Smith.
You said Mike Smith.
Mike White. I don't even know
same
who the
name.
hell Mike Smith.
To me, Mike White and Mike Smith are the same person.
When I think of Mike White, I think of the old Raiders coach. Didn't they have a coach named Mike White, the Raiders? Go look that up. Mike White.
Go look that up. Do some work for me.
Do some work. Curly, do something around here.
Put your hands on a keyboard and go look that up.
Do something around here. I'm trying to do all the research,
I love that. I absolutely love that.
No,
but like I'm looking here at Zach.
I have Mike White. He was a Raiders coach for like one season, I think.
So I'm looking at
1995.
Wow.
1995, sandwiched in between multiple Art Shell appearances.
Dude, Mike White is like a Bay legend. If you look at it, he coached at Cal, Stanford, Cal again. Coached the Niners offensive line in 78, 79. With the Illinois
the Joe Thomas era.
L.A. Raiders, Oakland Raiders, St. Louis Rams. This guy was everywhere. Yeah, got a Super Bowl championship in 1999 with the Rams.
Oh.
Wow. He was an offensive assistant.
Yeah, he wasn't the lead dog.
He wasn't the lead
dog.
dog.
Throw him on the side over there.
Wasn't the lead dog.
Going back to Zach Wilson, he's another guy that, Niner fans fell in love with. I'm looking at his stats this morning, Bonte. I mean, they're not good. I mean, they're just
not good at all.
They're not good at all. And obviously he's overwhelmed with a brand new coaching staff, very limited weapons offensively in terms of what they've got.
I disagree with that.
Why, you think Michael Carter and them are good?
I think Michael Carter's solid. I think Corey Davis is a solid receiver. I know he was the number 5 overall pick, and maybe he was drafted a little too high.
Okay.
But he's solid. Like, I'll take him to San Francisco as a number 2 or 3 in a heartbeat.
But he's not better than the weaponry that
Mims.
I mean, is he better than Allen Robinson and Mooney and them?
More in a slot, I don't think their weapons
okay. We can parse that,
but it's just Zach Wilson's not ready, and in that market,
and he's another guy trying to make plays that his body won't allow him to.
Exactly. By the way, we
got a lot
of
Baker in him. Whoa,
trade deadline
today
coming up 1:00 Pacific time.
Yeah,
Melvin Ingram, the former Charger, now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, quietly asked the Pittsburgh Steelers for a trade. He's now going to Kansas City.
That's a good pickup for Kansas City.
6th-round pick.
That's a good
6th-round pick. Melvin Ingram going to Kansas City. And this is coming off the heels yesterday of Von Miller going to the L.A. Rams.
What did you think of that deal?
And that's a question for the audience. Would you rather have a front office who says, to hell with the draft picks, let's go out there and go for it? And it's basically a year-to-year operation in the NFL now. Some teams try to play a long-term game. Like the Niners are playing a long-term game, saying, you know what? We're playing this 5-year window where we're trying to rack up Super Bowls and build a team for the long term. But the Rams are saying, to hell with these draft picks. We got Aaron Donald. We got Jalen Ramsey. We're 7-1. We just shipped off a bunch of picks in Jared Goff and that money, and we brought the money back from Matthew Stafford. I love the deal. I absolutely love the deal for the Rams. Wouldn't you love that? Would you want your team to do things like that? Or do you like the way the Niners operate?
Well, I think the Niners at times when they needed to, they were aggressive. They traded for Jimmy. They traded for D4. They traded in season for Emmanuel Sanders. They moved off of Quan Alexander. I think they've had opportunities to be aggressive. Here's the thing. They haven't been good enough like the Rams are year after year after year to be in these positions to make bold moves. Not only did they pick up Von Miller this year, they had an injury with Cam Akers, and then they go make a trade with New England and get Sonny Michel. They're a very bold team, and I understand it, but that's what that market requires. Yeah. LA requires them to stay active. Now, here's the part that I think is the most genius about it. Denver's paying $9 million basically for these 2 picks.
Yeah, 9 of the $9.7 million.
Right? So, I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and be all up in arms. The other part of this is Von Miller's a very, very good player, and we'll see what happens, with him and Donald on the line together. Are we sure he's not toward the end of his run, though?
Maybe.
I mean, he didn't play at all last year.
He's been hurt a lot. He's been hurt a lot.
So I just don't know. I don't know how much he has left in the tank. I know it's a name that we're all obsessed with, and I like him, but I'm not sure. Well, I have to see it first.
We'll see. Matador Mike, hang on tight. We'll get you after the break, as well as you, Tamir. We'll get you and get your thoughts. Would you rather see Lance play and lose than watch Jimmy play and win? And my boy Sackey got back to me saying he just doesn't trust Shanahan to call the right plays after the Arizona game. If Trey Lance goes out there and takes another beating, could mess up his mental. Football's a combat sport. Trauma is real.
Sackey, why don't you text me on the side? I need to get up on that NBC.
No, don't text him. You don't even need his number.
Baldy in 15 minutes, go nowhere.
17.
49er game. I got some James Wiseman sound you absolutely have to hear. Go nowhere. So we will get into the Warriors because it's a big game tomorrow against LaMelo. But I want to get back into this conversation because you said that Michael Irvin said something interesting.
You hear this beat?
Yeah.
Langford, is this from the new exclusive
93
Odyssey
Till
station?
Souls of Mischief.
So at 7:20, we're playing a song from our exclusive stations on the Odyssey app. And this one, we played this all the time before, but it popped up on one of the playlists. And if I go to the search option on the app and I go to the Cozy Up section, there's a playlist called The Cube, which is a bunch of chill R&B, and they had 93 Till Infinity on there.
It's brought to you in part by Macy's, Geico, and Coke Zero Sugar, as well as a segment being brought to you by segment is also brought to you by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises.
Yeah, Curly, was that a little sexual, or was that just me?
Man, where's your head at?
I don't know. It was very odd.
Where's
it was an odd. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm good off that.
Feel great. Feel great.
All right, Michael Irvin. That's what he said about starting Trey Lance. This could be a dangerous move.
Hope will dictate effort. If we have no hope of going anywhere, why am I giving this kind of an effort? It's just the reality. And that's and that right there, even if you think you're not going anywhere, you can't let them think you think that, because then that becomes a problem.
Michael Irvin, where's Michael Irvin? He's a treasure, man. I don't even know what to do with that.
Can we just for a second? Do we all have? I have people in my life who fried their brains, and you know those circuits just they don't come back. Dude. Can we just for a second? Can we replay that sound one more time? Because I got a little confused halfway through it.
The caption says danger of starting Lance.
Yeah.
The danger of starting Trey Lance is signaling to the team that what?
Hope will dictate effort. If we have no hope of going anywhere, why am I giving this kind of an effort? It's just the reality. And that's and that right there, even if you think you're not going anywhere, you can't let them think you think that, because then that becomes a problem.
I would have chopped that off in half because I got so confused on the thinking part. So you think that I think that you think that we think that we're not going anywhere.
I don't know, Michael Irvin. I love Michael Irvin, man. You see him on the mini broadcast, too? He's just sitting there laughing. He's just like, what? Well, Matador Mike in Texas, man. Save us.
Save us.
Matador Mike, Baldinger.
God bless Michael Irvin.
What's up, man?
Yeah, bless Michael Irvin, man.
I agree with David Bruce. I mean, we know what Jimmy Garoppolo is, and you can't tell me that Trey Lance could do any worse than Garoppolo, throwing a couple picks, turnovers. I mean, we beat the Lions, the Eagles, the Bears, like 3 bad teams. My only question is, could Kyle Shanahan develop them? There's only one coach and one team that has experience developing rookie quarterbacks as far as the rookie class this year. And that's the Patriots. A good example would be the Cardinals game where he ran them 16 times. Trey Lance had the most experience playing underneath center. I mean, there's no play action, there's no bootlegs in that game, so I just have less hope in Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch assessing players. We're bringing Kirkpatrick in, Josh Norman with Lamore. He was doing lights out, and you put in these veteran guys that aren't going to give us anything for the future and getting penalties left and right. So I just have an issue assessing the front office and Kyle Shanahan assessing players right now and putting players in good positions to succeed. So
it's interesting. I think no, I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize. I thought you were finished there. The Kyle Shanahan question on, does he deserve? Do you trust him to develop, player X? And we always go straight to the quarterback. I mean, we give him the benefit of the doubt on running backs, right, Bonte? I think he's done. Look, as frustrated as I am with the wide receiver position in general, I think he gets credit for developing Deebo Samuel. I mean, he identified Deebo when no one else really did. We were all like, not me, at the top of the list, like, oh my God, look at DK and look at all these other guys.
He had the benefit of coaching the Senior Bowl team.
Absolutely.
And Deebo was right there in front of him.
Yeah.
And Deebo looked like a boss.
But doesn't he get credit for that?
He should get credit for that.
Okay. And then I look at, the offensive line. Doesn't he get credit for bringing Trent Williams out of retirement?
Yeah, they made the trade for him.
They made the most of Laken Tomlinson since trading for him, who was a former first-round pick that flamed out. So what I'm getting at is that
quarterback is different, though.
George Kittle, I agree. Quarterback is different. I 100% agree with you. But I look around the other positions, he's done a pretty good job. Now he's not perfect. I don't think he's been perfect. I look at right guard and I'm like, what is going on there? What's going on?
Don't you feel like these next 2 games will dictate whether or not Jimmy Garoppolo will start the rest of the season? I feel like these next 2 games.
The 2 against the Cardinals first and then the Rams. Yes.
You lose these 2 games, I think it's Trey area.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's Trey area.
Yeah.
And
I think how it looks as well. I think
how it looks is very, very
There were, people saying that Trey was throwing on the sideline right before halftime. Whether he was
He's always throwing.
I know. Whether he was warming up, I don't know.
He's always throwing. He's always throwing. I don't put no stock into that. We had this conversation before.
Yeah.
I'm not putting any stock into whether or not a guy is throwing on the sideline. Guys just want to be involved and keep from being bored, from being on the bench.
I did feel from a lot of my friends and family, they were giving me text messages like, we got to go to Trey. We got to go to Trey. And I was like, you got to play this out. Like, if you're going to let Jimmy start the game, unless he's just Category 5 hurricane awful, and he wasn't. He didn't turn the ball over. Yeah, the offense wasn't scoring touchdowns, but they were moving it a little. Yeah, they had some self-inflicted wounds. So I think you got to allow him at least 1 to 2 more games of seeing what he's got there.
There was not one moment in that game on Sunday.
He bought himself time.
Where I thought, you got to play Trey Lance. Not once.
I thought they might sprinkle Trey in.
No, I didn't think one time in that entire football game where I was just like, yeah, you got to go to Trey. You know how I feel about Trey Lance. There was not one time where I thought, oh, man, throw in Trey Lance right here. That was Jimmy's game. And I thought Jimmy played well from the start. I thought they dropped passes early on in that football game against Chicago. I thought Jimmy was special. Not special. I thought he was very good in that football game. And not one time did I say, man, this is Trey. You got to put it in Trey. Yada, yada, yada. He scored 33 points and had the ball for 22 minutes and 49 seconds.
Yeah.
That's efficient. Yeah. That's efficiency. Let's go to Tamir in Oakland before we get the ball to here in about 4 minutes here on a morning roast. Tamir, what's happening, man?
What's up, guys? I agree 100% with Damon Bruce, and I put it as my coach's hat myself. If I'm being real with myself, I sit back, you look, you guys are tied with Seattle in last place, whatever. You're not catching the Rams, not catching Arizona. If you lose, like you said, Bonte, they lose, and you're going to put Trey in, why not do it now? Let him develop. He didn't play all last year. You don't want to have this a losing season and next year a losing season. I'm not saying Trey can't win, but you want to take those lumps and bruises now than going into it next year and then the fan base going crazy again saying, we're the Niners, we're not supposed to lose. That'll be Shanahan one winning season in 7 by that time, or 6, or whatever it is. So I just feel like, why not take them lumps right now? Just like Chicago's going with Fields, you'll get to see the excitement. I'm not one of those fantasy football players, football people that play the game and be like, I like excitement. I want my team to win too. But you rather learn and go through those bumps and bruises with a young player than a veteran.
So Tamir, it's an interesting point. This is analogous to like when a high school team's like, you know what? We're going to bring up a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, and we might not be as great as we are this year, but by these times, these guys are juniors and seniors. Right. They're going to be infinitely better, right? That's the analogy you're looking at.
And Tamir's gone. That could be one. That's interesting.
But it requires you to make that leap of development.
But you got to also look at the schedule and say, you know what? All right, our season's done. What are we doing here?
Do you think that the draft
let's start to look at the future a little bit. And right now, the season's not done.
No, it's not. It's just far from over. In fact, I feel rejuvenated and regalvanized, if you will.
Right.
Do you think the draft pick that they're praying to God that they can get back for Jimmy Garoppolo is somewhere in their equation of doing the math of who starts?
So
I'm not saying it's the ultimate thing. I'm not saying it's the ultimate.
Is Jimmy going to get traded today for a draft pick?
No, at the end of the year or whatever. Like, is it in their stew? If they were just putting together a stew and mixing it up.
I'm sure you'd like to get something for him.
Right.
But you could also just move off and, hey, it's been a great time. Go do your thing. Mm-hmm. We'll do you a solid and let you be a free agent. You pick your squad. We don't owe you anything. That's how it will work. But will you trade? Like I think if Jimmy loses that game on Sunday and he plays poorly, I think there's a real chance that today we're talking about him being traded on the deadline.
Oh, you're talking about Chicago.
You're talking about Chicago.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know whether or not, hey, we got to get something for Jimmy in return. Sure, I'm sure a team would like that. Like the Niners got something for Alex Smith, but we don't even remember the draft comp.
Oh, I do.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd round picks, which they ended up trading back, and it ended up being Tank Carradine, Corey Lemonnier,
so it became
Carlos
nothing.
Hyde. There was like basically 4 or 5 players that they parlayed it into, and yeah, it eventually spurned them into nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's go to Clayton and Union City.
Remember Tank Carradine every year? This is his year.
He redshirted basically 3 straight years.
What's up?
Looking at Sunday's game, I think it's easy to look good against a bad team that's dealing with injuries personally, but I think Jimmy's getting $26 million, so I think we need to play him, play it out and give him a chance. But also, I think it's been a confidence issue because I don't think Shanahan really ever truly went chips in for Jimmy, and he flirted with every quarterback out there, in my opinion. The only one I don't fault him for is Brady. But, he never really showed full confidence in Jimmy, in my opinion. I think that's basically the bad thing. I think when you let him kind of run the offense and do his thing, I think Jimmy's a very talented quarterback. So, I think you can throw it straight in if you want, but, the best players have come from being thrown in the fire, but you're paying Jimmy $26 million. This is professional sports, so develop him outside. And if you can't develop him outside, then I don't really know what you're doing in professional sports.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's get to Baldy here. Brian Baldinger joins us every single week. Baldy's coming. It's Shark Week, baby.
He breaks down plays better than anyone.
This is like Shark Week now. And you know what Baker Mayfield is? He's chum. Look at these sharks. You think you're getting away from those 4 angry sharks? It's Shark Week. It's time to eat. Make the read. Urgency. That's the name of the game right here. Urgency. Now, on it. He's on it. Touchdown. Beautiful throw.
He's our 95.7 The Game NFL insider, Brian Baldinger.
And you can follow him on Twitter at BaldyNFL, one of the smartest men in football. He breaks it down better than anybody out there. Brian Baldinger joins us every single Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. And Baldy, good morning. We actually get to talk about a 49ers win here, and it's been a while since we've seen that. We'll get to Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, the way the defense looked, Elijah Mitchell running the rock, but we always got to start off with the quarterback here. The quarterback is a hot topic out here, Jimmy Garoppolo. Seemed like he had his finest hour of 2021.
Well, he didn't make any mistakes. So that's a start, and they protected him well, and their game plan was different than it's been all year. They attacked down the field from the second play of the game. They didn't connect with Brandon Ayuk, but they were throwing it on a spray fade down the field
to Ayuk, and they decided that, if you're going to play in the NFL, you have to attack. You have to take advantage. They found that out, against the Colts in their loss. Like, you've got to attack. And Kyle Shanahan had a game plan to do it, and Jimmy was up to it.
Is that going to be the template moving forward in terms, because I felt like they went 4 and 5 wide, way more than I've ever seen them do in recent memory.
Well, part of it was, they went after the young corner, Vildor, and they kind of scorched him pretty good. They didn't have Khalil Mack. They didn't have a great pass rush, so you had a little bit of time, to be able to push the ball down the field. They went a little more play action, a little more max protection for some of the speedo routes they ran with both Deebo and with Ayuk and on occasion Sanu. But, they needed more chunk plays. I mean, they're just not good enough to just – not many teams are. The Chiefs weren't last night. To just go 12 or 14 plays and just dink and dunk down the field. You need to pick up some big chunks, and they were able to do that on Sunday. And I applaud Kyle for that. But going forward, whether it's Arizona, the Rams, I mean, that's how you have to play the game. That's how those two teams are playing it.
And, Baldy, you mentioned how he didn't make any mistakes, Jimmy Garoppolo, that is. I also thought he improvised a little bit this week, and we haven't seen that improv from him recently. Holding the ball, not taking the check down, looking deep down the field. I thought he looked very comfortable in the pocket Sunday against Chicago.
Yeah, he was. I think he could be sharper than he was. I thought a couple got away from him a little bit, but when you're completing it at the percentage, not the percentage, but for the amount of yards that you are, you're throwing for well over 300 yards like that on just 28 attempts. I mean, you're averaging 11 yards an attempt. I mean, that's pretty. Right. That's at the top of the charts in any game. So he just made it count, and obviously Deebo. You go 80 yards on a hitch screen. I mean, that's going to help any quarterback out. But that's all right. He needs that help from the wide receivers.
Absolutely.
And I didn't think whether that was Ayuk's issue or not. But I think going back to preseason, I think the receivers have let him down to a big extent. And I thought they caught the contested ball real well the other day. I thought they caught the ball over the middle real well. And then they were good after the catch.
What about this Elijah Mitchell at running back, Baldy? I'm watching a guy. He's got the nice little jukes on the outside. It feels like he's got some burst to him. I know in between the tackles was a little rough, but isn't it always rough in between the tackles for the Niners? I think they've got a little find here at running back. What do you think of Elijah Mitchell?
Well, he had a really good day. He had a really, really good day. And, it's kind of like what you're expecting. But I thought they blocked as well as they blocked all year up front. I'm not giving all the credit to the offensive line, but getting Trent and Mack, back out there and just really looking fresh. I thought that they played really well, and not just those guys, but Lakin, the whole group, Brunskill. I thought all of them played well, including the tight ends. Juice, I thought, had his best game blocking. So I thought just the whole orchestration in the run game was really good. But it's really up to the back to really find the hole and then not hesitate, get through it. And I thought he was very, very fast through the hole. And those things don't stay open very long. I don't care what defense you're playing against in this league. And I thought he was fast through the hole.
Is he tough enough to be an every down running back for this team moving forward?
I think he has to be. I mean, you don't know until you start giving him the carries. I mean, he had 18 carries, which is probably his max. It would be good to get Wilson or even Hasty in there when Wilson's ready, whatever. But, that's probably the max that you want. I mean, he's just 200 pounds. You just don't think he's going to be able to, handle the pounding. You just saw what happened to Derrick Henry. I don't care what your name is in this business. You run it enough, it's going to take its toll. So I'd be a little cautious. I mean, he got all of the carries the other day. I think Hasty got one or two, but for the most part, he got the carries, and he looked really good there. But there's still a lot of football to be played, so you'd kind of. I'd be a little hesitant. We saw what happened to Raheem Mostert when you just give one guy the carries in this business. You got to kind of share the load a little bit.
Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast, as he is every single Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. at Baldy NFL on Twitter here on the Roast on 95.7 The Game. Baldy, looking at Deebo Samuel, you mentioned him a little bit earlier. His ascension as the number one wide receiver on this football team, I mean, it's really a great thing to watch. This guy is making plays with the ball in his hands, run after catch. He's going deep. He's doing everything on the football field right now. What have you seen from Deebo Samuel and his ascension here as the number one target for the 49ers?
Well, from the day I met him, over at the NFL Network, I mean, he's a running back from the waist down. He's a top-flight running back. I mean, he has great hands, and, he's a good route runner, all that stuff. But, put the ball in his hands, he's an elite running back. He's just built so strong from the waist down. And so that's what you see. You see just an explosion. And then, he's just – the thing I like about him is he's not really looking – to shift a whole bunch of gears and make a bunch of people miss. I mean, he's just looking to explode. And he might check his rearview mirror every once in a while to see who's chasing him or where they're coming from. But basically, he's just, like on that, 84-yard run, catch and run, he's just looking at the goal line. And he's looking to score. And so, that's, I kind of think, like I've been saying, he's your best player. You got to find ways to get your best player the ball. Even like in the last Arizona game, they scored a touchdown. Well, they flipped it to him at the running back position, and he scored. Like I said, he's a running back at receiver. And so I think you got to kind of look at those kind of skills that he has and really, utilize them. I thought they finally, really dialed him up, on Sunday.
Baldy, I want to play a cut for you from Damon Bruce yesterday. It's an interesting point of view. A lot of fans feel this way. I want to know what the player perspective is. What's the locker room like? Because when I saw Shanahan in the locker room, that team seemed galvanized after that victory. Let me play this cut, and then I want your reaction afterward. Here's Damon Bruce yesterday on Damon in Ratto.
The Chicago Bears banked valuable experience for their rookie quarterback, while the 49ers rookie quarterback and their quarterback of the future doesn't have a present and is not doing anything to prepare for a better future. I would rather watch the Niners lose games with Trey Lance than win games with Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. That's just how I personally feel about it. I know what the Garoppolo cycle is. He plays poorly. Everybody wants him gone. The team gets desperate. They play that we're the underdog card. They rally behind Garoppolo, who has a big game against a bad team. Everyone starts to believe in him again, and then he has a bad game, and everyone starts to doubt him again, and then all of a sudden they rally around him again, and then all of a sudden they go out and they beat a bad team, and everyone believes in him again, and now everything's good again until he plays poorly again, and the cycle never really ends with this guy. You can't snap the cycle if you don't turn the page to the rookie.
What's the player perspective on something like that?
Well, I mean, it's a fair summary by Damon. I wouldn't criticize him because it's probably true. But, the players want the best player to play. Like I was in Chicago this summer and everybody was saying Andy Dalton. The players knew Justin Fields was way more talented. And so that was, to me, that was just a matter of time. You can't convince me yet, especially after Trey's, performance against Arizona and just how they beat the hell out of him. And then he got banged up, so he wasn't really ready for the Colts. I want to see him be able to protect himself a little bit better than he did in that game. There's certain things I got to see. The players want the best player at each position out there, whether it's the future or whether it's just, let's just win today. Because players just want to win today. They just want a good feeling on Monday that they did something good, they can celebrate together. And if you start stacking enough of them, you start to feel invincible after a while, and you play better than your talent level. And that happened 2 years ago.
Interesting stuff there, Baldy. Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Got to ask a question about the defense. Defensively, it looked like the Niners, the line of scrimmage was getting controlled by the Chicago Bears. They held the ball for over 37 minutes in that football game, but Bosa made some plays. Ebukam made some plays, but the secondary looks like a shell of themselves here. What did you make of the 49ers' defensive performance against Chicago?
I honestly thought Nick Bosa was invisible. I mean, I know at the end of the day he had 2 sacks, but I really didn't think he went up against a rookie tackle that never played before, Larry Borum, and I thought he went over there away from his normal side to go school the rookie, and he didn't. And so I was like, where is he? What's he doing? And I don't know if he's not healthy, not 100%. I know he was playing hard, but I just didn't see it from him on Sunday. Yeah. I see Kentavious Street playing really well. Obviously, Freddie Warner, but the front, I didn't think that they were great up front.
I
really didn't.
Look, you're an expert. I'm no expert. But I kind of thought the same thing when I watched that football game. Like, I didn't see Armstead. I didn't see Ebukam. Bosa, yeah, he made a couple plays. But I thought containment was a real issue for this football team on Sunday.
Well, Chicago, this Khalil Herbert is a good back.
He is.
And it's tough. It's tough with Justin Fields. The touchdown run he had, it's a highlight reel. But that's who that kid is. Like, you might see that again this week, with Kyler Murray. He's certainly capable of doing it. But that's the league. You got to get these guys down to the ground. Pursuit is important. Like, you just got to chase harder than they did on that play. Now, he's just a rare talent, but that's the league. And it's almost every Sunday in this league right now. You got somebody like that. So, I think they got to do better than that. Khalil Herbert's a good back. He's hard to get off his feet. He gives you every yard that's there and then a little bit more. And he's been doing that now for the last month. And, when David Montgomery comes back, they'll have a real good 1-2 punch. But I think they, it starts with stop and run. I think they could have been a lot better than they were.
Baldy, we're looking at all these rookie quarterbacks. You kind of referenced Justin Fields like that's who he is. I mean, the guy's going to make a spectacular play. Obviously, each guy's in different circumstances, and their situations are very different, so it's hard to project moving forward. But which one of these guys, which one of these rookie quarterbacks, and you've had a chance to see pretty much every single one of them, which one are you the most high on right now?
Well, I mean, through the games that have been played, Mac Jones has been the best. You just can't rattle him at all. No matter if you just whack him, hit him, like he just keeps coming back at you. You watch the Cowboy game, and he throws a pick six. He comes back the next play. He throws a 75-yard touchdown pass. That's who that kid is. He just has an amazing mentality for the sport and for the game. But at the end of the day, you want a little bit more wow factor than just a pure point guard. And so, I want to see more of Trey Lance to see if he can be that guy. I want to see if he can be just more consistently accurate. He just needs to play more to find out if he can be that guy.
Brian Baldinger, everybody, joins us every single Tuesday, breaking it down there. A lot to take away from what he just said about the 49ers. They'll take on the Cardinals this Sunday with the chance to be 4-4 and right in the mix of a playoff spot, a wild card berth here. Brian Baldinger, we thank you every single Tuesday. Thank you so much. Can't wait to do it again next week.
Devontae, was great. All right, talk to you next week. You bet.
Brian Baldinger. Before we get back to the quarterback.
You felt validation there. I loved it.
Well, no, not validation. I just, he said Bosa was invisible.
I'm surprised because I thought he made plays.
I watched that game, like watching it live, and I thought this defensive line stunk on Sunday. I thought they stunk.
As a line, yeah, but I'm talking about Bosa. I thought I saw him flash a few times.
I made a couple plays, but I thought he lost containment multiple times.
Well, that's that RPO, which I told you they didn't run for 3 weeks before that.
But still, it's in the playbook. It's a mobile quarterback.
He had less than 100 total yards all year running and had 100 in one game.
But he's a guy who runs around.
I hear you.
You prep for this stuff. I thought those are strong. That's strong by Baldy. Baldy just doesn't throw that out there.
He loves Bosa.
He loves Bosa. Loves him. Armstead. Ebukam. Defensive line was a disappointment last week. And that's why I'm moving forward. Which quarterback can help you win games? Garoppolo or Trey Lance. And this team, if they want to get to where they want to get to, which is deep into the playoffs, and they're 3-4 right now, this team's going to have to be led by the offense.
Yeah, it's
going to have to be led by the offense.
Totally agree.
This defense is far from where they were at 2019. D Ford was out with a concussion. Don't know how much he's going to give you.
How many total snaps for D Ford this year?
Yeah, well, it's 40? Been going down and
40?
down.
Is he at 40?
He's over 40.
40 for the whole
40.
season?
He's over 40. He had 12, he had 13, he had 17. He's over 40. He's over 40.
I'm trying to do the math in my head.
No, he's over 40. But it's sad that we're here with D Ford again. He's over 40 though. I mean, the secondary, they're gonna have to score points. And can you score enough points against the good defenses like Arizona, like LA? The Rams, that is. Not the Chargers, the LA Rams. I don't know. I just don't know.
So I'm looking at his at his actual snaps this year. First week, played 30. And then it's 16, 20, 12, 11, 17. I mean, it's not good. He's under 30% for the season in terms of total snaps being able to play. It's Monte, it's not good. It's just not good. I don't know what else to say on the D4 thing. That's a sunken cost. We've gone over that. When he was talking about the quarterbacks, where are you at right now with Trey Lance in terms of did they make the right pick? Right? Justin Fields, we got an opportunity to sit there and just watch him play. I know that you've been higher than anyone on Mac Jones. Not that you said that that's the guy that you wanted them to take, but Mac Jones clearly looks to be the best this year, which I think we all kind of knew. I don't think that's as surprising.
No, I don't think people. No. I don't think so.
You don't think that he was going to be the most quarterback ready guy?
I don't think people thought that at all. We thought Cam Newton was going to have that job. I don't think too many people thought Mac Jones was going to beat out Cam Newton. Forget
the team. I'm saying heading into the draft, I think everybody thought Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones were the most pro-ready in year one. Not necessarily highest ceiling or anything.
Where was Fields at?
I don't know. I was surprised Fields wasn't in play for the Jets.
Right.
That was something you and I talked about a lot. Why wasn't Fields in play for the Jets?
They were sold on Zach Wilson.
They didn't even look, it felt like,
now if you're the Jets, you take Sam Darnold instead of Josh Allen, which a lot of people thought was a smart play.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got to play Josh Allen twice a year for the next 15 years of Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now you take Zach Wilson, you pass up Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is going to play you 2 times a year, and he just dropped 54 points on you. And
Zach is such a small body. The one thing that I say, like that division, very much like the AFC North, you got to be able to sling it in November and December outdoors. You got to be a big body dude. Yep. Like that's the one thing about Josh Allen. He fits Buffalo. I mean, if you're going to be playing in Ralph Wilson and it's snowing in December,
he can chuck
give me the 6'6" guy that can spin it. That's the underrated part of Tom Brady's career. We have underrated how well he spins it in the wind, in the cold, in the chill, in the ice. And I'll give Mac Jones this. The guy stands in there and throws a really nice football.
Dude, Jets took Zach Wilson, and we both, during the Coastal Carolina game, was like, out on this dude. One game can tell you a lot, but Trey Lance, is he the right pick for the 49ers? I think he is.
I do too.
I think he is.
And don't you think Jimmy Garoppolo being the current quarterback numbed us to... Because Mac Jones really, and the way I look at it, he's a better version of Jimmy Garoppolo. Younger, better version of Jimmy Garoppolo, a little more sturdy. Being able to develop from the beginning. I think he has a higher pedigree. I think he's got a better arm downfield. I think his accuracy downfield is really, really, really good. By
the way, Jimmy Garoppolo's 30 years old today. Just turned 30.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Welcome to the club.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Welcome to the club.
So don't you think that the fact that they had Jimmy Garoppolo made them want to go in a different direction? Like, had they had an athlete at quarterback or a more mobile, maybe they look more than Mac Jones.
I think what happened was Josh Allen on Monday Night Football last year.
You think that was it?
That's Wade Shanahan. Remember the comments Shanahan made afterwards?
No, you're right.
Sometimes as coaches, you evolve from what you want because he was hell-bent on Kirk Cousins. He made no secret about his love for Kirk Cousins. About wanting Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback of the 49ers, which is why apparently they pass up on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Now, whether or not you agree with that was the thought process of Kyle Shanahan. Pocket quarterback, can run the offense, can run the system. Josh Allen happened on Monday Night Football. Big guy, strong arm, can move around. And remember Josh Allen in JUCO, where he played junior college football. I believe it was Reedley College. I think I could be wrong there, but he played JUCO. And in high school, played for run-first offenses. All right, Trey Lance ran the wing T in high school. Now, he did play under center in North Dakota State, but they ran the ball a lot. There was a lot of play action. Trey Lance can make that adjustment. He can make that adjustment. So I do believe the 49ers made the right pick, but I'm not going to lie. Justin Fields, he wowed me.
Yeah.
Justin Fields wowed me.
I like him.
He still takes a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Unnecessary shots. And that's what I want to see Trey Lance avoid here. So it's just a matter of time before we see Trey Lance.
And it is a matter of time. And let's also remember, okay, let's go back to the 2018 draft. I keep going back to this one because I find this to be a fascinating draft comparable to what happened this year. 2018, I'm going to read off who went where, okay? In 2018, you had Baker Mayfield go number 1 overall.
Sam Darnold, number 3.
Sam Darnold, number 3. Josh Allen.
Number 7 or 8.
Yep. Josh Rosen.
Number 10.
All right. And then you had Lamar Jackson.
Last pick of the first round.
All right. Now, if we were to just redraft it after 1 year, the rookie of the year that year was Baker Mayfield. He had an excellent season for a dormant organization. 64% completion percentage, 27 touchdowns, which at the time was a rookie record before Herbert would end up breaking it. 14 picks. Baker looked spectacular year 1. Right. Josh Allen looked horrible year 1. What's his name? Josh Rosen beat the Niners twice. Yeah. I had no idea. No, they went 2-14. He didn't look great, though. No, he didn't, but I thought he was going to be solid. Sam Darnold was up and down. Lamar Jackson, there were still questions. Couple years later, Lamar Jackson's got an MVP in his back pocket, and Josh Allen looks like, right now, it looks
might
like
be the best quarterback in the league.
Exactly. That's what
outside of Tom Brady.
And Baker Mayfield, there's questions on whether they should re-sign this guy and give him a big contract.
You see Odell Beckham Sr.?
No. What did he say?
The father of Odell Beckham Jr.?
What did he say?
Basically, Baker Mayfield's a problem. His son's wide open. He's not hitting with the football.
Shocker. Odell's dad thinks he's wide open, and quarterback can't get him the ball.
But if you watch the video, he's right. He is open.
I know. He caught a one.
No, Baker was a surprise number 1 pick. Surprise.
I thought he was a second rounder.
I remember when the news leaked that he was going to be number 1 in Cleveland. Everybody's like, really? Baker? To Cleveland? Where Sam Darnold was in that conversation. But I remember that draft show, doing it with D. Bruce, Fortin, Paul, and Pop.
By the way, wait. Can we just for a second? That's a lot of peacocking in one stage. Give that lineup again. It was you? Who?
D. Bruce. Well, I got stiffed. I became the update guy on the draft show. Well, I was part of the draft show for the first couple of years, and then I got
You were
stiffed
the Tom Looney to their JT the Brick.
Basically.
Okay, so it
David
was
Bruce, Joe Fortenbaugh, and Pop.
Wow. Did any of them say, I don't know, at any point during the entire time? I don't think any one of them would have, huh? They knew
there's
everything.
A couple of I don't knows. Because Fortenbaugh may throw something to Papa and be like, I don't know.
Did you know in 1991 the San Francisco 49ers were favored in a game week 3 against the Los Angeles Rams?
I did not know that. That was...
Yeah.
Give him a laugh.
Point
being is that I remember that draft like it was yesterday, and that was just like, I don't want Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
He will look
horrible
very
decision
impressed.
maker.
I saw a lot of Sam Darnold in college. I honed in on him.
How many in the middle of the field interceptions for USC did he throw?
I mean, middle of the field, sidelines, but everybody tried to tell me he was different.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's not better than Mark Sanchez at USC. He's not better than John David Booty.
I knew you were going John David Booty.
John David Booty, he won a Rose Bowl.
I like John David Booty. I thought Minnesota got them one.
I just wasn't a Darnold guy. Now, I wasn't a Josh Allen guy either.
See, I
didn't
was.
see enough of him.
I was a Saturday night.
I didn't believe him.
I was a Saturday night Wyoming guy. I have the tweets to back it up.
Trust me.
But I love Josh Allen.
I watched a lot of those games.
But he looked horrible rookie year.
Yeah, he looked horrible.
He looked like a guy who literally could not complete a pass 7 yards downfield. I think he was like 53% completion.
He was terrible.
And then like Lamar Jackson, you had people on ESPN saying he should switch positions, right? And look, I'm just saying, after 1 year, Baker Mayfield was clearly the best quarterback of that draft.
He started shooting all those commercials.
Right? And then a couple of years later, we look back. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen this year. I'm just saying we have to take a deep breath.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz was awesome. And so was Jared Goff. They were awesome at times.
This is why I think the Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields conversation will be more polarizing than Aaron Rodgers and Alex Smith.
Because it'll be the next 10 years?
We knew Aaron Rodgers was better than Alex Smith. And it played out the way we thought it would.
Yeah. And they were the only two in that draft.
And they were the only two in that draft. This draft, with these 5 quarterbacks.
It's got the 83 feel.
Zach, Trey Lance, of course, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. This conversation is a conversation. We're going to have this conversation for the next 5 to 10 years.
100%.
It's going to dominate sports radio. So
and
anyway,
they're on marquee organizations.
No doubt.
Chicago is a huge market. The Niners are a huge market. New England's a huge market. Yep. I mean, these are big market. Jets. I didn't even think about that.
And then the Jaguars. I mean,
they might be in London.
They might be. Steve Young, on the other side, said something very interesting on Monday Night Countdown as Steve Young and Alex Smith shared their stance on rookie quarterback starting. We'll play that on the other side here on the Morning Roast, plus Zaza Pachulia at 8:30 here on the Morning Roast.
Today on
Grab some popcorn and enjoy the show.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
You're listening to KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Station. Presented by DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified. It's time to wake up with a nice cup of morning roast. Featuring Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. Presented by Timeless Coffee. This is the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, baby. Tuesday morning here on The Roast. Last hour of the show. We'll go to 9 o'clock now, in case you're wondering. Willard and Divs from 9 to 12. Steiny Goo from 12 to 3. Damon and Rattle from 3 to 6. And, of course, Matt Kolsky at Night Kolsky and Company from 6 to 10. The new lineup here at 95.7 The Game.
I was driving around after volleyball practice last night, and I was listening to Kolsky, and he was playing the Damon Bruce cut from yesterday, and I had a chance to hear it in real time, and then I heard it again. And Bonte, you and I were talking about this morning, and it's just kind of spurred a big conversation this morning about rookie quarterbacks, about the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, just everything that we're at right now. And it feels like the league as a whole is like, it's quarterback or bust. I mean, it just every single game is about these quarterbacks. We're watching Patrick Mahomes last night, and he's struggling a bit, and everyone's going, what is wrong with Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's wrong with Patrick Mahomes. The running game. They need to run the ball and be patient. Patience. Mahomes has no patience. They want the big play. They want to chuck it deep. Now everybody's playing 2 safeties high, 2 safeties deep, saying we're not letting Tyreek Hill get behind us. We're not letting Hartman get behind us. They're going to have to check it down and beat us and matriculate the football down the field with 12, 13, 14 play drives. And right now I'm just not seeing patience from Mahomes and company. Also, DBs and linebackers are doing a great job of jamming Travis Kelce at the line of scrimmage. They are beating him up within that 5-yard period, that 5-yard box, and where you can be physical with these wide receivers. And Kelce can't get off the line right now.
No.
He's getting bullied right now. So Kansas City's got issues.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
And they just made a trade for Melvin Ingram.
Yeah, if you're waking up this morning, Melvin Ingram traded from the Steelers to the Kansas City Chiefs. I watched the Manning cast last night, parts of it, and I love watching it because I like to see from the quarterback's perspective. I'm also listening to the Steve Young audio book, QB, his kind of autobiography, and it's awesome. And it just gives me all these insights into, he's my favorite 49er of all time, and that's Steve Young, just because his story, what he represents, how he conducts himself. I'm not saying he's the best player of all time. He's just my favorite. I just love what he represents when it comes to the Niners. And I also think his perspective on football, to me, really seeps in. He had to follow Joe Montana, for crying out loud. He was an unconventional player, and now everyone wants to play the way Steve Young used to play. Did you see what they did on Countdown, him and Alex Smith going back and forth?
We're going to play it right now. Steve Young and Alex Smith went back and forth, and Steve Young basically said, if you can, go out and play as a rookie, you do it. Alex Smith saying, why not give these kids the best chance? There's 2 cuts here. Couple long. Here's the first one, about 57 seconds long. Here's what Steve Young had to say about playing a rookie.
You had a terrible situation. I can't think of a worse situation than you came into San Francisco and had to play for 4, 5 different coordinators in 5 years. It was a disaster, but what came out of it? You clawed your way through it and showed that you could be a player. My point is, if you play somebody in their rookie year, they will show you somehow, if they're any good, they'll figure a way through it despite all the rigor, and you'll have a guy that's more scarred and bloodied, but on the other side, a better player, as long as he's not hurt. In the end, I'm with Troy Aikman 100%. If you're available and you can go learn and grow and you're good enough, you'll claw through it. And if you're not, you won't. That's okay, too.
I don't disagree with you. My standpoint is this, that these franchises and organizations have made huge investments in these kids. Like, why wouldn't you do everything in your power to make sure they have the best chance at success? Why is it roll the dice and, hey, go take your lumps? We hope you come out better for it, but maybe not.
Alex Smith to Steve Young. That's the first part of that one. Let's play the second part.
Yeah, because I have a lot to say on this. These two are very, you got to know their backgrounds to really understand this.
Did Steve Young learn more in a 2-14 season with the Tampa Bay Bucks? Here's what Steve Young had to say about that.
That luxury is wonderful, but I really believe, and I got to repeat myself, if you're going to be a player of 15 years, you'll be able to prove it that rookie year.
My one example, and I'll just say this, the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre didn't play as a rookie. I know it was in Atlanta, but they traded for him. Hall of Fame career. Aaron Rodgers sits for a couple years, Hall of Fame career. Jordan Love sitting for a couple years. If he starts for 10 years, that's 40 years of quarterbacking. 40 years.
But I'm tainted a little bit because I had to claw my way in Tampa Bay, but I learned more. That first season at 2-14, my MVP 40, I don't know, it's a long story.
He learned more playing for the Tampa Bay Yucks than he did sitting behind Joe Montana.
It's crazy.
It's interesting to me.
It's crazy.
But Alex Smith has a point. He does have a point.
And his perspective matters.
Sitting is not the worst thing in the world because I thought Alex Smith should have sit. The Niners wanted to sit him.
Well,
and Tim Rattay What happened?
Well, there's a reason that Alex is different from Trey. Let's start at the top. Physically, Alex was barely 185 pounds. Physically, okay? He had never taken a snap under center at Utah. They were out of the shotgun exclusively, all right?
Under Urban Meyer.
Absolutely. And the other part, this matters. He was 20 years old, and the way the CBA was structured, he got a $50 million contract and walked into the locker room as the highest paid player on the team. The league has changed. We have slotted salaries. You had to play that guy from the get-go.
They should have stuck with Tim Rattay.
I agree,
I remember that.
But I'm saying when you're paying someone what they were paying him, there was a thought process that you got to play these guys right away, etc.
But you know what? A lot of those guys sat at least half a season. Think about Phillip Rivers. Got a lot of money.
Well, they had Drew Brees.
But you know what I'm saying? They ended up moving out from Drew Brees, but he sat.
Sam Bradford, Eli Manning, they all played in their rookie year.
Yeah, they played in their rookie
Alex
seasons.
Sat the first 5 games.
Right, and he shouldn't have played. He wasn't ready to play.
But it's, again, different circumstance. And also, the weaponry around him was awful. It does feel like, to me, he has a lot of buyer's remorse in terms of not being able to sit the way Aaron Rodgers sat in Green Bay. Now, I would say this. In my heart, I believe, even if Aaron Rodgers came to the Niners, do I think he'd be this version of Aaron Rodgers? No, I do not. I still think he'd be damn great. And I still think he would have been better than Alex Smith.
He was more ready to play.
Yes.
He played in a West Coast offense under Jeff Tedford at Cal. He was more ready to play the pro game than Alex Smith was. We all knew, when Alex Smith got to Utah, there was an adjustment.
Yes.
There was an adjustment to play. And, you know, when you think about that Utah season, they beat like one ranked team.
Exactly. He played with Reggie Bush in high school.
Right, exactly.
No one talks about that. That's like the greatest San Diego high school football team of all time. Here's the other element, B. Look at psychologically how they view the game differently. When I think of Steve Young, you could go to all the playoff failures, and that's fine. That's part of his story. But also part of his story is I am going to fight for every single yard. I'm going to fight for playing time. I'm going to fight for your respect. I'm going to fight for everything that you think that I'm not. I'm going to win you over. Alex is always like, that was always my perception of him psychologically. I'd like to throw it deep, but I'll just check down.
Yeah.
My situation isn't as good as Aaron's. Whereas, and this is why I love Steve. Now, Steve had a better situation. No one will deny that.
And Steve's
no one's denying that.
Steve learned a lot sitting behind Joe Montana, standing next to Bill Walsh on the sideline.
He did, but he also says this, and I've heard him say this, and he says it in his book, which I'm listening to right now. He says, you are in a race. Can I physically survive the NFL before I could figure out the NFL? Right? It's a race. Will I run out of athleticism before I can learn how to play the position?
Because if you can figure it out without the athleticism, you can thrive like a Tom Brady, like a Peyton Manning. You could win with your mind and not your physical traits.
Exactly. So now I just find this to be interesting because Steve Young has been very, very vocal
and real quick
about playing Trey Lance.
And he has. And that's maybe the disappointing part about Jimmy Garoppolo. Can he win a game with his mind? Can he win a game with his mind, knowing that his physical traits?
That's an interesting way of
putting it.
You know what
I'm saying?
No,
because that's what Steve Young's basically saying.
Used to do that too.
He won with his mind.
Yeah, that's
Drew Brees won games with his mind, with his brain. John Elway.
I have to think about it. You're
John
right.
Elway with Terrell Davis, granted, he had a running game, but he started winning games with his mind.
No, you're right.
Knowing where to go with the football.
And Brett Favre did it forever.
With his mind.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers against Arizona
with
Thursday
his
Night
mind.
Football with no one there.
Exactly. Can Jimmy Garoppolo win with his mind?
That's interesting.
And I think that's the big difference here. We know Trey's got he's got more physical traits.
Yes.
He's got the better arm. He can mold. He can move around the pocket. But the mind game is why people wanted Jimmy Garoppolo to start, because they thought mentally Trey Lance wouldn't be ready. And I don't know if mentally Jimmy Garoppolo is light years better than Trey Lance. Mentally, it feels like Trey Lance is closer to Jimmy Garoppolo to where if the physical outweighs, if his physical traits outweighs Jimmy Garoppolo's traits, and the mental, there's not a big gap mentally, then it's like, you know what, play Trey.
Yeah. That's interesting. No, wow, B, I hadn't really thought of it that way. I'm going to be real. Like, we talk about is the throwing and the running and the this and the that. I hadn't thought of it from that particular perspective.
That's huge. The mental game. Brady with his mind.
No, well, Brady wins pre-snap. That's the thing that Josh Allen won me over in that Monday night game against the Niners. I was like, pre-snap, he knew exactly where he was going. He's like, I'm attacking you. Yep. He was running an orchestra. We know he's got the physical gifts. It's, can he identify matchups and throw to the right guy?
And say this about Ben Roethlisberger. With his mind, once his physical wore out, mind, he knew, I know I can make a play here. I know I can beat this defense here. And that's where I'm at with Jimmy.
That's a really good point.
Can Jimmy win at the line of scrimmage with his mentals? By the way, the segment is presented by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. Zaza Pachulia will join us at 8:30 here in the Morning Roast. Don't forget, we are sponsored by the Timeless Coffee crew out there in Oakland and Berkeley. 3 locations. Timeless Coffee getting us through another morning. Trust me, we cannot do this show without Timeless. I need some sweets, though. I need some savories out there. I got to get out.
I'm driving out there today. I'm going to go recop. Yeah,
I need some of that. I need the pesto.
I'm going to have them grind that up, that merchant blend. Yeah, I'm going to get at least 2 bags.
Get the merchant. Get the Peru as well. Get the Peru.
Yeah, I'm in the. I need that heavy stuff now in the morning. Cut it with the raw.
Heavy. You cutting it up. That's what we're doing there. That's what we're doing. Let's go to Rob in San Bruno. Rob, what's happening? You're on the Morning Roast. You're on 95.7 The Game.
What's going on, fellas? Look, I agree. It depends on the team because I agree with both of them. Because if you look at that 03-04 team, that team was trash.
Starting from scratch.
It was in cap hell. Who was their receiver? They didn't have no receiver.
They had Brandon Lloyd.
They ended up making a trade.
Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, they ended up making a trade the next year for who was the guy from Seattle? Daryl
Jackson.
Daryl Jackson.
Yeah, but before, I'm just saying, when he came, he wasn't supposed to. Alex wasn't even supposed to play that year.
No,
that team was trash, and you can't compare that to now. If you look at this roster now, Deebo is better. Ayuk is better than anything that receiver that was on that roster.
I agree.
The only receiver that I'm mad and I blame Mike Nolan for being so soft was when he got rid of Bryant. That dude balled
Brian
out.
Johnson.
That was like Alex Smith next year in like 06 before he got hurt, and they got rid of him because he had a little, he had a little temper, and that set Alex back for like years. So he was throwing the Arnaz battle.
Yep.
And I don't want to get on that.
Well, no, you're right. Antonio Bryant was sweet, and then he was doing 140 in a Lambo.
And he got axed. And he got axed.
Remember that?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just like Aaron Rodgers. People seem to forget. A lot of teams pass him because there's throwing motion. He spent 3 or 4 years working on that throwing motion. Alex Smith didn't have time.
No.
He got thrown in the fire with a team with expansion roster. That was, y'all say 2016 was the expansion roster.
No.
That 04 roster was...
That was pretty
bad. They
bad.
had one player. They had Eric Johnson. One player.
And we wasn't even an elite tight end at that time. He was just good.
Yeah. That team was bad.
That team was so bad.
Some big team. Thanks for the call, Rob.
Jamie Winborn was their leading tackler.
That was a bad call. Zaza, 8:30. We'll talk about Wiseman and company in just a second.
And
here.
don't you also think the fact that Kyle Shanahan is an offensive-minded head coach is totally different than Mike Nolan, who was a defensive guy, and then you went through the offensive coordinator, carousel. This is what Miami's going through right now. They've had 3 different coordinators in 3 years under Brian Flores, and now they have co-offensive coordinators. It's not working for Tua.
No.
So this is not just a Niner thing. You see this around the league. You want to have that consistency at coordinator for your young quarterback.
I do find it funny, and I agree with the 925. He says, I think if Steve Young had stayed at Tampa Bay, didn't get traded for, he'd be singing a different tune. It's hard for me to believe he learned more in that 2-14 season for a decrepit organization.
But he was great for USFL.
He was great for the USFL.
Yeah.
He was awesome for the LA Express.
He was the number 1 overall pick.
He was awesome for the LA Express, but he had to learn more under Joe Montana and Bill Walsh. Like, instead of just getting your brains beat in Tampa Bay.
But did you know that when he was at BYU, because I'm learning his stuff now, Andy Reid was a guard at BYU.
Oh, yeah.
All right, their staff with Tom Homo was the best defensive back there.
He backed up Jim McMahon.
Dude, he got in a car with Jim McMahon, who was a senior, and he was a freshman. He was the JV quarterback, and they wanted him to play DB.
Exactly.
Because he ran a 4.4, and this is when he didn't have cleats.
Yep. Jay in San Jose.
That BYU team was loaded. With
National champs.
Coaching talent.
National champs.
Unreal.
Jay in San Jose, what's happening?
What's up, fellas? So, Trey Lance, to me, what kills me is people keep saying they have to see he's not ready. Are we forgetting he had almost 300 total yards?
Totally.
What was at the time best team in the NFL and only lost by 7. So, when he played that well, and then people are still saying we have to see. What is it we need to see? So. You brought Josh Allen up. Josh Allen was horrible rookie year. His second year, he almost had 20 points increase on his completion percentage. If you ask him, what did you learn from playing in your first year to how you grew your second year, he'd probably say, man, playing was everything. Getting that experience, being able to learn, and then take that into my second year. So now now Trey's basically first year next year, right? What if he has a 50% completion percentage? What we could have learned this year, the things he could have learned. This is where Kyle's got to earn his money. coach this boy up. That's why you draft him, offensive guru. Coach him up and get him where you need to be.
So I'm with you there. I just wanted to chime in real quick because I get the argument of not playing a kid. Geno Smith, should he have played right away for the Jets?
No.
It's basically ruined him.
Their circumstances were different, and they didn't have an offensive coach.
Right, but it ruined him.
Yes.
Playing ruined him.
I'm not sure how great he would have been overall, and I actually like Geno Smith
Sam
a lot.
Bradford.
I mean, he had a good team, and they had Steven Jackson.
Ryan Leaf. Ruined. I mean, there's guys who Keely Smith goes to a bad situation in Cincinnati.
Yes.
David Klingler. You see all the guys who go. Joey Harrington in Detroit. I mean, there's guys who go to these teams and they play right away. And they don't get better. They don't get better because they make so many mistakes, and they don't get coached up out of it, or they don't there's
it goes in both directions.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree because for every Josh Allen and John Elway, there's also a Kyler Murray, right? There's a lot of guys on both sides. There's your Ryan Leafs, there's your David Carrs, there's your Alex Smiths, right? And there's something in between. Like I look at Kyler and he's talking about getting better. 64% completion, 68% completion, up to 73 this year. Like you could see the growth, you could see him building. You could see the game slowing down for him. I don't know. It's the chicken and the egg. And I think the situation absolutely matters. If Trey was a Jet, should Trey be playing?
No.
Right?
No. I don't even think Trevor Lawrence. We had this discussion about Trevor Lawrence. I was like, I would sit Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Now, he's getting better by playing.
He is.
He's getting better by playing, but it also feels like he's getting destroyed.
He's getting killed.
He's getting destroyed.
And Urban might be one and done.
Yeah, he might be one and done. Hey, by the way, let's table this for a second. Great conversation there about the quarterbacks. Before we get to Zaza, I do want to talk a little Warriors as they take on the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow night. The third game of an 8-game homestand, a franchise-tying 8-game homestand here. James Wiseman, got an update from him yesterday. He underwent surgery April 15th to repair a right meniscal tear in his knee. He's been cleared to participate in full team practices. A timetable for his return to game action has not yet been determined. Remember, he suffered an injury back on April 10th against the Houston Rockets, missed the final 19 games of the season. And James Wiseman said, look, if I got to go to the G League, I'll go to the G League. Here's what Wiseman said yesterday at the podium.
Yeah, of course. I would like to go down there so I can just get sharp physically, mentally. And I'm getting there. So just like whatever happens within that time, then, I'm down for whatever. Just do anything.
And we'll get a cut a little bit later about what Curry said to him on the bench. Curry was talking to Wiseman, and basically he was talking about, hey, look, when you're down there, you're going to be the lob threat. Mm-hmm. I'm going to need you to be right there. And Wiseman's like, yeah, I understand the offense a lot better this season. I know what to do this season. And they need his length. Mm-hmm. They need his physicality. And I think this young man is going to be a nice component to add to this basketball team that's already 5-1.
Are people upset that he said that he's excited to go to the G League and get some run?
I hope not.
G
League helps.
That's what I'm saying. Jordan Poole, didn't that help him?
It helps a lot of guys. Moses Moody helped him already.
And he hasn't played in 8 months, 7 months? How long has it been for James White? How long will it have been?
April 10th is when he suffered the injury.
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're looking at almost 9 months.
And 2 training camps he's missed. Missed 2 training camps.
Come on.
Didn't have a summer league for
let him get up to
years.
Speed.
Played 3 college games.
Yeah.
It's okay to play in the G League.
I love his perspective in terms of understanding that he has to earn everything that he's looking for. I want to see that hunger from him. I think that needs to translate onto the court. I want to see an angrier, hungrier kid this year. I want to see a kid looking out to take souls on those lob passes, Bonte. I'm excited for him, and I'm glad that he's getting healthy. We all know it. And this team, realistically, I'm not asking for a lot. I just need another big body who can dunk around the rim and rebound a little.
And this guy gave you 12-6 last year and didn't even know where to be on the court. He also said yesterday, I feel way more comfortable. I don't feel lost or confused out there. I have the knowledge from last season. And he didn't have the knowledge last season. He was confused, and he still chipped in with 12-6.
look at it from a work perspective. Bonte, you've worked in certain settings. If everybody's older than you, you do kind of feel like the odd man out. You know what I mean? Like everybody's significantly older. Like I remember when I first got into my work settings when I was like 18 years old, 19 years old, into other jobs. I worked, night shifts and stuff from the time I was 14 years old on. But you're working with grown individuals who have families. How the hell can 17-year-old, 18-year-old Joe Shasky relate to any of those people?
Exactly.
Now imagine James Wiseman. You're stepping into Draymond and Steph Curry's world with Kelly Oubre over here saying that the world is boxing him in because he needs a mega deal. I just think it's really difficult. And you look around that team, and now they've got coaches that fit what he's looking for.
Right.
And you've got a couple of other guys his age. Kuminga, Moody. It just makes it a little better for the guy.
He was real tight with Marquise Chris last year, who got hurt early in the season.
Was he?
And
I didn't know that.
Tight, and he was tight with Pascal. Those were his boys last season. But now he's got Kuminga. You see him yucking it up. I like that 1-2 tandem, Kuminga and Wiseman. Wiseman's going to help. So it's good to hear from Wiseman. We'll chime in with Wiseman. Zaza Pachulia. Zaza's going to join us here in about 6 minutes. Don't forget, Warriors tickets are still available. Hornets in town. Are you excited to see LaMelo at Chase Center?
I am. Are we going to ask Zaza about playing in the Warriors World Tournament?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should. I've heard from him about it.
Okay.
I've talked to him about it, but I think our audience needs to hear about it.
And maybe you can explain that.
Yeah, Guru's not happy about it.
Oh, shocker.
If you're looking for
nothing easy.
Nothing easy. And it was nothing easy for anybody in that Warriors World Tournament. That's for sure. If you're looking for all the best Warriors content from 95.7 The Game, text 49ers. Or text 49ers to 20357. Wait, if you're looking for the best Warriors content, why would we text 49ers? Wouldn't we text Warriors to 20357? That's Warriors, I want to say, to 20357. Make sure to hit the subscribe button in the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast.
All the Warrior content you'll ever need.
Yeah. Or if you want 49er content, text 49ers too.
Yeah.
What's coming up on the game brought to you by Caltrade Stormwater. Zaza Pachulia here on The Roast.
Harry Callis, more like Harry Callish.
With a checkerboard underbelly and circular items of joy, we say thanks to Timeless Coffee for this box, which we will make our toy. We're about to dive in and do the donut dance.
testing and charging, and reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
What is this, Langford?
It's Thundercat.
Thundercat.
Yeah, you don't know about Thundercat?
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the cartoon.
Yeah.
I remember Thundercats. This is Thundercat, though. He's got great music. Wonder if Zaza Pachulia is a Thundercat fan. I know he's a fan of the Warriors, who are 5-1 right now. They'll get ready to take on the Hornets tomorrow night at Chase Center. Don't forget to get your tickets. Tickets still available Wednesday and Friday. We got the Hornets on Wednesday, LaMelo Ball and company. Then we have the Pelicans on Friday. We'll see Brandon Ingram. Maybe we'll see Zion Williamson in street clothes Friday night. That's, man, 3 games, 3 and 4 on their current 8-game homestand. The tickets for all games are still available at Warriors.com, where season ticket holders and other fans resell their tickets that are 100% guaranteed by the Warriors organization. Even in the event of a sellout, tickets are always available at Warriors.com. Let's talk to the front office consultant, former Golden State Warrior, NBA champ, Zaza. Good morning, Zaza.
Brian, what time you wake up, man?
Hey, man. I wake up at about 3:55, but Joe, the butcher over here, he wakes up at 3:30. He wakes up earlier than me.
I know Joey's an early guy, but I'm surprised. I give you credit.
Zaza,
did
you see his Halloween outfit, Zaza? Did you see the Incredibles? He was wearing spandex with the entire family.
Amazing, of course. How can I miss it? Actually, the whole city's talking about it.
What about Dr. Bonte? Did you see Dr. Bonte with the needles, with the fake needles? That probably was a little bit too much, huh?
Oh, God.
Let's talk about Hey, Zaza, man, we wake up too early, man. We're whacked out, man. But we can't help it, man. We love talking to you. We love talking to our fans out here, to the listeners here in the Bay Area. And they're excited about the Warriors right now, being 5-1. They bounced back last Saturday against Oklahoma City. This bench has been really good. And we got the news about James Wiseman yesterday being cleared for full contact.
I'm so excited.
You've been around the practice facility. You've seen James Wiseman work this offseason. Tell us what we're in store for when it comes to James Wiseman.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. And most importantly, his attitude is amazing. I'll tell you that compared to last year. Last year, he was so quiet, and you would go at him, and he felt like he was in the principal's office, listening to everyone and trying to observe. But this year, he's more open. His personality really is showing, and I love it. He's joking, he's smiling more, even though it's been, tough for him. Obviously, as a rookie, you want to play and you want to show yourself what you can do and prove, a lot of people, including media and fans, that, you deserve it, to be a second pick, and you're talented and you can be an amazing player. But unfortunately, he's been injured. But even though he went through that difficult time, for a couple of months, he's smiling more. So I love it. I mean, he's talking more. He's engaged into conversations and more off the court stuff. And I gotta give a shout out to Dejan Milojevic, who just joined Coach Kerr's staff this year. And he's been spending with Brian Adams. Both of them has been spending a lot of time with James, and he has a little bit of European taste, a little bit out of Dejan, and learned a lot of pretty cool stuff. And I was watching most of the practices, and stuff they're going through, all these fundamentals, and I'm excited for James to come back. First of all, for him, because to play basketball, but second of all, I think he is growing as a person.
Zaza, let me just say this. As a guy who spent a lot of time in the principal's office as a youngster, all you can do is listen in that situation. So the principal's office, never a fun place, but all you can do is listen and hopefully get better. Obviously, I didn't get better. James Wiseman is getting a lot better.
Absolutely. I have no doubt. And like I said, I'm very excited to see him back. And especially, for last year he was playing in Chase Center with no fans, and this year it's going to be different, and with a full house, and I'm pretty sure Dub Nation can't wait to see him back.
Absolutely, and the guy that I feel like has been the story early on in the season, for me, is Draymond Green. I mean, condition-wise, he looks spectacular. Defense, he's just making his mark all over the place. Offensively, he's scoring a little more than he has in years past. What is it with Draymond? Is it the fans coming back, or is there something noticeable that you're seeing that he put in the work during the summer?
So that's a great question, and believe it or not, I was having the same conversation about Kirk Lacob, the last game that we went to on Saturday. And first of all, to have fans in the building, I knew obviously it was such a game changer, but I just noticed, maybe it was kind of reminded to myself what a difference it makes to have full house and, your fans cheering for you or booing you, even when you're on the road, doesn't matter. And kind of reminder so that, that's why we play. This is entertainment. Obviously, yes, we play basketball. We're trying to win every single game, but at the same time, the fans such a huge part. It's such a huge part, and it feels different. It's different energy, different motivation. Preparation is different. A game is different. Even though I think Warriors did a great job last year to have these noises and to pretend like to have a dub hub and have fans have experience to watch the game live but it cannot compare to this experience whatever is happening this year. So thankful, so grateful, and Dub Nation are the best when it comes to support.
There's no doubt about that. Two-time NBA champ Zaza Pachulia on the line right now a consultant in the front office with the Golden State Warriors. And look, we could talk about Steph Curry all day long. Western Conference Player of the Week a week ago, the 17th time he's done that in his career. But what about Damian Lee? Damian Lee scoring in double figures every single game. You talk about a guy who's been on a journey here and staying ready, Zaza, and he's made some big shots to start the season. Damian Lee's carved out a nice role for himself on the squad.
Absolutely. And so first of all, he's such an amazing human being, and what a story, right? I mean, played in the G League, multiple years and non-guaranteed contracts. You respect that. You respect the journey, and but one thing I'll tell you, being in this league for 16 years, there is no way you can, come to the point where you are solid, consistent, rotational guy, and scoring double digits and, having the big shots, from night in, night out without work ethic. There's just no way. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I give him a lot of credit for staying with it, tough times, good times, and, never eased up, never relaxed. He continued to working hard, continued to work on his body. I listened to his interviews after OKC game where he had amazing game, and he mentioned, and this is true, like also to be injury free and to concentrate on other things, to concentrate more details of your game, watch film. It's it puts you in a different level, So happy for D-Lee. He's a class guy. He's a really true pro, and it pays off. Hard work pays off.
What's going on with Klay Thompson these days? Because this guy's rocking a Larry Bird jersey, doing all this crossover stuff behind the three-point line.
He can't wait to come back. He's counting days. Oh, my God.
We got to keep – I'm worried about the Sharks in the Bay.
Dude, I told you the boat. I'm worried.
Man. Like, he's jumping in the Bay full uniform, Zaza.
Hey, those new uniforms are hard.
I do love the new uniforms. The city editions
nice.
do look good. Woo-hoo. But, look, Zaza, I need you out there protecting Klay, man. I thought you was his right-hand man. He's running wild. He's running amok in the Bay.
Sorry, guys. I left him for 5 minutes to go and take care of my other kids, and look what happened. He jumped in the water. So I apologize. I'll be better next time.
You got to be better, man. Hey, and by the way, let's get. You want to get to where we want to get to?
Let's get to the brass tacks. Yeah. So, Zaza, we're talking about the G League, the Warriors World Tournament. And the Warriors World is a website for those that are out there. It was like one of the first fan websites out there celebrating the Warriors. They sell a ton of great merch. You can follow them at Warriors World on Twitter and on Instagram. They host this charity, this tournament for Klay Thompson's Foundation.
We love them.
We love them too. And next thing I know, I'm looking online and I see Zaza, you playing in the tournament
with Barbosa. Don't forget about Barbosa.
With Barbosa, and our Daryl the Guru Johnson over here is saying that it's foul and that it's out of bounds that you guys are playing for Kirk Lacob's team. Do you have anything to say to defend yourself?
Well, that's all we do. So, we win championships, right? So, it's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. But you should see, what my favorite part of the tournament, obviously, with, being part of this, pretty cool cause, right? And play basketball was as soon as we both, LB and I, we entered in the building same time in the gym, right? So there was a lot of excitement, and it felt good. Even we were retired, and people were excited to see us, and especially play with or against us, right? So a lot of smiley faces, a lot of handshakes, a lot of taking pictures, etc. But guess what happens a couple hours later after we lift the trophy? Then the blame game started. They shouldn't be here. They're ex-pros. I mean, come on, from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0, whatever you want to call it. But it was my favorite part, from excitement to the blame game and, complaint. But this is the life. It's okay. I mean, nobody likes the winners, right? Everybody.
No,
something happens.
You're so right.
I have a perfect experience with that, especially 2016-17 years.
Zaza, I love that you just, hoisting championships in people's faces. Jordan Bell a few years back. Jordan Bell, Guru wanted to score buckets on Jordan Bell.
He thought he could score on him one-on-one.
Yeah, and I think Jordan Bell said something to the effect of, bring some money to the table and maybe I'll think about it. Did that ever catch wind in the locker room? And what would happen if Guru tried to guard you on the block?
Oh, gosh. I know the answer. I know the answer of that. It's pretty easy.
You'd cook them.
You dominate.
That is a bucket. That is a bucket. Yeah, that is a bucket. But, I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play. I'll let him play against Jordan Bell first, kind of let him go some levels first.
You know, Zaza, I'm actually not even ticked off at you for playing in the tournament.
I love it.
I'm a little peeved at Grant Liffman because Grant is always trying to seek out him and Kirk Lacob, always trying to seek out the best rosters. There's a bunch of dudes who look like me out there trying to play basketball, and Grant and Kirk got to go out there and recruit some of the highest level players out there. So I'm a little more disappointed in Grant Liffman that he had to go to that level and try to bring in NBA players just to win the tournament.
Well, listen, man, we retired. Okay, I haven't touched the ball for 2 years.
Yeah.
And this was literally like I had 3 shoot 360 workouts prior to the tournament, and then I stepped on the court and we won the championship. So, you know, give me a break. I'm a human being. I want to have fun. Man, it's like, you're too tall. You cannot play. I mean, it's not fair, man. Or ex-player, you cannot play. You kidding me? I'm a human being, too.
Hey, Zaza, before we get on out of here, man, I love how playful you are with us. We really appreciate you every time you come on. This year feels like it's different. It just feels different. The ball is moving. There's more joy. They're playing with unbelievable passion on both ends. They're not a perfect team, but they're just a lot of fun, and it feels like that joy is brought back into it. Why is that, man? Is it just flipping the calendar, or is it
fans
the
at
roster?
the stadium?
Why do you think everything just feels so much better this year?
Couple things, Joe. Like you talked about Draymond. First of all, I said one of the biggest reasons was fans in the building. Also, you gotta give it credit to Draymond because he played for Olympics and for USA basketball, and that definitely kept him fresh, and it definitely kept him in shape. So he's excited for the new start, as well as team leads. You know, so last year it was very important. Last 2 years actually it was very unfortunate we couldn't make the playoffs, right? So this is a fresh start, and also I gotta give credit to our BB Ops and Bob and Kirk and Mike Dunleavy, Larry Harris. All the guys, we do free agency, we do draft and free agency. I think this year we have a really well-balanced team with mix of talent. We have mix of youngsters, veterans. Steve Kerr mentioned how many times he mentioned about IQ players, right? And one of them is my European brother, Bielitsa, right? So, he's coming in, with amazing IQ and intelligence on and off the court. You know how helpful it is. Even though I was joking with him last time, I don't know who jumps higher, him or me, but it's not about how high you jump. It's about how efficient you are, what decisions you make on the court. Especially the way we play, it's so hard to guard. A lot of movement, a lot of body movement, the ball movement. That we have a player who can shoot from anywhere from the half court to all the way to the layup. Mm-hmm. So. On that reason, and plus having fans in the building, having news that James is coming back, having the excitement of Clay's going to come back pretty soon. All these positive things are happening in the locker room, in our organization, and carries over obviously on the court as well. The momentum thing, Plus, bottom line, we have one of the best and most exciting players, playing this way like Steph is. Having one of the best defenders like Draymond, as I mentioned, having amazing role players and exciting players like Andrew Wiggins and everybody else.
Iguodala's back. How can we forget about him?
Back. Jordan Poole is having the best year in his young career. I mean, a lot of good things are happening. So all Steve has to do is bring the pieces together, and Steve's offense, and style of playing offense, and obviously defense as well. It's truly amazing. So I'm not surprised that we have this kind of start. And I believe we can only get better because, like I say, you still have new pieces, right?
Right.
We're trying to adjust and, adjust it because it takes some time. I remember when I first joined, we kind of start clicking and start playing good basketball after December. More it was January, So I don't think it's going to be any different with us with this current year. I think it's going to be better and better every month, and hopefully by December, January, once we have everybody on the court, we will be playing even better basketball.
Zaza, next time when you join us, we got to get into what happened in Boston when you hit that jumper and you started doing that little dance move there. We got to comment on that one. You comment on my fashion, I got to comment on your dance move, Zaza. Is that fair?
Fair enough on that.
No, Zaza,
Tell Kirk Lacob I'd like to be part of that clique that you guys are in.
He won't.
Grant, me, you, Leandro Barbosa. I'll run in there. I'll be part of the crew. I'll be part of the posse. Let's do this.
Next year, we might have you guys. That way, you guys feeling good about yourself.
There we go.
Until we get dunked on in the tournament.
Post. I can feed the post.
Until that first jumper clanks off the top of the backboard, then I won't be feeling too well about it. Yeah, I know my role too. Zaza Pachulia, everybody, two-time NBA champ. Of course, now a consultant with the front office. We'll see him tomorrow night when the Warriors host the Charlotte Hornets, looking to improve to 6-1 on the season. We can't wait for that. Zaza, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, buddy.
See you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. You guys are the best.
Thanks, Absolutely. Dude. Zaza Pachulia here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Give him a round of applause.
Doesn't he just make you smile and feel good?
That move, man. Whenever think about Zaza, man. He's so cool, so down to earth. And then you think about when he hit the jumper in Boston and he did the little whack.
It
wasn't the best. Zaza,
I love his little push jump shot that he's got. It's kind of more of a set shot, I guess, if you will. He's just a solid player and who understood his role and then has great perspective on the league. Because he's a well-traveled guy in the league.
Remember the year when he damn near beat out Draymond Green for a spot on the All-Star team?
I do.
I do. He was Zaza. Don't forget tickets for all Warrior home games, including the one tomorrow night against the Hornets and the Pelicans on Friday.
That'll be a fun game.
Tickets are still available. Yeah. Tickets for all games are still available at Warriors.com, where season ticket holders and other fans resell their tickets that are 100% guaranteed by the Warriors organization, even if the event is a sellout. Even in the event of a sellout, tickets are always available at Warriors.com. And that's a hot ticket tomorrow night.
Yeah, it is.
Seeing LaMelo Ball. We talk a lot about Trey Lance. Whether or not the 49ers should have drafted Mac Jones or Justin Fields or moved up to get Zach Wilson. The LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman conversation still is percolating here because a lot of people still feel like LaMelo Ball would have been a great fit. But I'm happy with James Wiseman. LaMelo Ball is special. We know that now. Now let's see James Wiseman now playing with a healthy Stephen Curry, a healthy Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson coming back, and not the pressure of being the dude right away. I think big men, they take a little longer to develop, no doubt about it, because they don't have the ball in their hands. But I wouldn't give up on James Wiseman quite yet.
The Warriors played LaMelo. They played the team twice, but they only played LaMelo once last year, right? He was hurt the second game?
He was hurt
or am I
the first game
that?
in Charlotte, I believe.
Okay.
Because
I remember
he struggled in one of the games.
Guy who was in Boston was killing us in that game in the second half. He hit that shot down the stretch. Come on, the point guard that was in.
Terry Rozier. Terry.
Yeah, he hit a big shot down the stretch.
That's good knowledge.
Remember?
Yeah.
So I don't remember LaMelo in one of the games, but I could be wrong. This is a fun game, I think. Kelly Oubre returning to the Warriors. We can get into it a lot tomorrow.
Yeah.
But in terms of watchability, the Hornets are a very fun watch.
They're a fun watch on League Pass. He'll give up a zillion points. The Cavaliers beat them last night. Pounded them in the paint. And the Hornets right now.
Warriors.
The Hornets right now in the restricted area. They give up at least 72% from the restricted area. They're the worst in the league.
Don't give me the nuggy nugs today.
No, I'll give you some nuggy nugs tomorrow. Then I've been doing I watched that game yesterday like I was scouting.
Yeah?
I felt like I was Red Auerbach with a cigar, watching League Pass on my phone, watching the Cavaliers. You want to talk about League Pass teams?
Evan Mobley.
They're kind of a fun watch.
Jared Allen dominated that game.
Dominated. Laurie Markkinen. Markkinen was dominated. And I always watch it. Look.
Underrated physique.
And that game between the Hornets and Cavaliers, it's a good broadcast game because from the Cavaliers standpoint, you get Austin Carr. Markkinen. He dominated. He can shoot that ball. And then the Cavaliers play-by-play guy, I forget his name. We know Dale Curry's on the broadcast.
No, I do not know
Curry's
that.
He's a color. You didn't know that? Well, now
Collins.
You know. Eric Collins. That guy is unbelievable. I know that. I'm just saying, I don't know that. Eric Collins, and maybe our audience, they need to be reminded sometimes. You can't assume that everybody knows everything. Everybody's down to Joe Shasky.
That's Ryan Mauser's guy. Ryan Mauser, who runs our Twitch and our YouTube stream. He's all about Eric Collins. I got to give him the credit here. He's been talking about him since last season.
You know what? I should have switched. I should have gone first quarter Cavaliers broadcast, second quarter Hornets broadcast, because Eric Collins is good. LaMelo Ball, triple baller, triple B's, and the return of Kelly Oubre Jr.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yawn on that. But
hey.
2 weeks into the season, whatever. 2 weeks into the season.
Hey, Kelly Oubre Jr. talk tomorrow.
I saw him take a step back right inside the 3-point line yesterday and miss it. It took me back to
all the feels.
Better time.
You know what I saw with Kelly Oubre Jr. yesterday? He missed the dunk and the ball went out of bounds. And I was like, Gosh, I don't miss him missing dunks in the Warriors uniform.
My brother, I remember he says to me at some point last year, you guys talk about him way too much. Just stop talking about him.
What else are you
I
going to do?
know. It's how bad last year was.
Last year was rough.
It was Steph and then Oubre.
He had a great month in February, man. He turned
it was
it up.
awesome. So did David Wood in 97.
David Wood.
Like,
no,
we don't talk about him that
Kelly
much.
Oubre Jr., man. Look, that was tough, man. Yeah, I don't think LaMelo played it. He played once against oh no, he did play at home. The second game at home, he played in 2 games against the Warriors.
He did play in both. I didn't think he played in one of them.
The first game, they lost. It was 130 to 121. He scored 22 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists.
Terry Rozier hit a shot late in one of these games?
The second game at Charlotte.
Yeah, okay.
At Charlotte. They won that game by 2. That was the game Draymond Green got kicked out of.
That's
with
right.
9 seconds left.
Was that the one that Steph got hurt in the pregames?
He got hurt. He was sick in the pregame.
Yeah,
and you had Brad Wanamaker come up with the steal, but he couldn't hold on to the ball.
Brad.
Yeah, bowling ball, Brad. He had the jump ball. It was a circus at the end of that game.
That people would like back.
LaMelo Ball, 3 for 10. 3 for 10. 1 for 5 for the 3-point line in that second game. 7.7 assists.
Big takeaways 2 weeks into the NBA season. Forget the Warriors for a second. Or maybe that is one of your big takeaways.
Well,
looking
Warriors,
around the league, what are you thinking?
Chicago looks good
shocking,
so far.
Yeah.
Came back from 19 down
really
last
good.
night against the Boston Celtics.
Ball looking good up there.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball looked good. DeMar DeRozan, Levine figuring out how to play together. Vucevic down low. But they did lose Pat Williams, their first-round pick from a couple seasons ago out of Florida State. He's out for the season.
Yeah, I liked him, too.
Also, the Portland Trailblazers. I thought they would regress.
3 years later.
They're worse than I thought.
They should have moved one of these guys years ago.
Dame Dollar, if you had to guess what his 3-point percentage was right now.
It's 41%.
23% right now. So I don't want the city of Oakland coming after me. Dame Dollar is struggling, and they lost to the Sixers. Kate Scott's Sixers, the Blazers lost to him. There was no Embiid.
Andre Drummond going crazy.
There's no Embiid and no Tobias Harris.
Wow.
And they got beat.
What's going on with the Celtics right now? So you saw that
Marcus Smart has some comments.
My guy, I love Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he said that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown need to basically Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I had to make sure I got that right. They got to pass the ball in crunch time. They need to pass the ball
to who?
Apparently Marcus Smart, who's shooting 25% from the 3-point line.
I mean, it's interesting. I love the NBA, though. The storylines are galore.
I'm looking at YouTube here, Ty Hall on YouTube, and shout out to all the roasters on YouTube and Twitch. We see you. We see all your comments all show long. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you viewing us every single morning here on the Morning Roast. But Ty Hall says that the LaMelo Wiseman debate is over. It's clear LaMelo's the better player. And I wanted James Wiseman at the time. Gotta admit, I was wrong. Well, it's only one season.
Yeah, but right now, LaMelo is clearly better than James Wiseman if we're doing the measuring stick game.
He's averaging 26-6 so far to start the season.
He's been awesome. You got to give him his flowers. And James Wiseman has a lot to prove. It's not just him. There's other guys in the first round that are clearly outplaying whatever James Wiseman was bringing to the table. But this same conversation is happening in Phoenix, in Dallas, in Atlanta, with the draft prior to that in the Luka, Trey, and DeAndre Ayton. So this is not exclusive to what's going on with James Wiseman. I still think that he can be a contributor this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing the kid.
Yeah, me too. And he'll probably come in off the bench. Yeah, he'll probably get about 20 minutes a game coming in off the bench. I'm looking forward to James Wiseman as well. I'm also looking forward to seeing this high-flying Hornets team that plays no defense. Miles Bridges, he'll get up there and rip on you.
Their jerseys.
He's got a little Grandma Mine. I'm speaking of jerseys.
Oh, yeah, Grandma Mine.
Yeah, Larry Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Oubre Jr., for just a second, because we won't talk about him all show long tomorrow.
I was fouled! As he looks at his left arm.
Tsunami Poppy.
Is
he going to get cheered tomorrow?
I mean, sorry.
The comedy doesn't stop here on the Morning Roast.
What are we cheering?
Well, Jonathan Kuminga said Saturday, hey, I love Warrior fans. They cheer for anybody.
You know what he's going to get? And this is a Dibley original. He's going to get a standing novation. That's what he's going to get.
Damn.
Entering the game, Kelly Oubre Jr.
Wow.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, anyway, squeak.
I don't think it resonates.
It's a standing novation is what it is.
I don't think it resonates.
I think Warrior fans will be classy enough to give him a little golf clap.
I think the Warrior fans are going to be like finding their seats and wondering about popcorn. This is not. It's not something that is enough emotional
at all.
Of an attachment to like stand up and boo your hat off.
in Philly, he'd be Boubre for sure.
Right, but nor is there enough of an emotional attachment to be like, oh my gosh, it's Kelly Oubre's coming back to Chase Center. This is amazing. He played 0 games here? I mean,
he gets highlight montage on the Jumbotron.
What is the highlight montage?
Yeah, what is the highlight montage?
Miss Dunk?
The month of February?
Sure, yeah.
He was good. He was better than Wiggins in the month of February.
The press conference where he made sure
No, he knows. The dude lives it. He lives it.
Look, I do live it.
He lives it
every single game. But
do
I gotta
you guys
say,
have a package whipped up for NBC?
Yeah, maybe.
How is Kelly Oubre's package, Monte?
Tune in at 6 o'clock. You may figure it out. Tsunami Poppy coming back to the Bay Area. Look,
the world is boxing him in.
That can't be his nickname.
Hey, look, it was a tough year for him.
Is he starting? Is he starting this year?
He was off the bench for a couple games,
but he's starting.
So let's just put the presser on loop where he talks about how he's not a bench player.
Right, he's not boxed in.
Let's just do that.
He's not boxed in.
Yeah.
Look, he's not boxed in. I thought,
Thanks, Kelly.
He played okay last year. It was tough. You're in trade rumors. You want a long-term deal. You get off to a slow start. It was tough, man.
And I give Bob Myers what I used to tell my preschoolers when I did T-ball. They swing and miss on the tee, and they chop the tee, and they cry because they can't hit it. And I give them a nice try, don't cry. That's what Bob Myers gets. They tried to bring in a piece at the price that would fit. And by the way, they spent $40 million total dollars on him.
A lot of money,
after tax.
No, it was more than that. It ended up.
I don't even know what the number was.
Almost $80 million was all said and done.
Not my money, so for me, it's nice try, don't cry. He's on to Cincinnati, and they're better for it.
Great, Bob. So we were actually kicking around. I was listening to Damon Bruce yesterday, and I was also listening to Kolsky at night, and he was kind of replaying it.
He just listens to the station all day.
Did you listen to us?
Of course I do.
He listens all day.
I listen all day. I give credit where credit is due.
That's how you still take it.
So there you go.
I'm kidding.
So they were due some credit. You didn't like.
Well, this is the big build-up to what Deebo Bruce said, which of course Shasky latches onto because like a snarling dog with a dog toy, you can hear the squeak and you got to run to it.
Well, I just find it to be an interesting conversation.
Compliment. Yeah.
Let's play the Damon
please
Bruce
don't
sound
play it. I heard it earlier. Please.
You're over it?
Basically, he says
I haven't heard it.
They should play Trey and lose as opposed to play Jimmy and win. That was his take.
I want to hear it.
Yeah,
Can I hear it?
You got a minute?
I'm sorry, Dan. I haven't heard it.
No, I heard it earlier, and I thought Curly could have clipped it about 20 seconds ago.
But that's a John Curly special. He did clip the Steve Young, Alex Smith debate in the two cuts. One was 57 seconds, one was 35. So
way behind the scenes here.
Work. Hey, slow down on Curly. Slow down. By the way, you are listening to 95.7 Game, KGMZ FM and HC1 San Francisco, an Odyssey station brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Give it about 3 more weeks. Mark, we're coming after you afterwards.
9 a.m. hour sponsored by Timeless Coffee. Brought to you by Timeless Coffee.
My man.
Willard and Tibbs. Here's Damon Bruce yesterday on rather seeing Trey in losing games as opposed to seeing Jimmy in winning games.
The Chicago Bears banked valuable experience for their rookie quarterback, while the 49ers rookie quarterback and their quarterback of the future doesn't have a present and is not doing anything to prepare for a better future. I would rather watch the Niners lose games with Trey Lance than win games with Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. That's just how I personally feel about it. I know what the Garoppolo cycle is. He plays poorly. Everybody wants him gone. The team gets desperate. They play that we're the underdog card. They rally behind Garoppolo, who has a big game against a bad team. Everyone starts to believe in him again, and then he has a bad game, and everyone starts to doubt him again, and then all of a sudden they rally around him again, and then all of a sudden they go out and they beat a bad team, and everyone believes in him again, and now everything's good again until he plays poorly again, and the cycle never really ends with this guy. You can't snap the cycle if you don't turn the page to the rookie.
All right. It's high-quality sports radio, first
it really
and
is.
foremost.
It's another minute of my life gone. Heard it earlier. Love the setup.
The delivery is an A-. It's got a good beat. I can dance to it. I give it a 91.
It's not Song of the Day worthy. Because I listen to Song of the Day.
Stay tuned.
And most importantly, he said, this is how I feel. And so, therefore, you're allowed to feel however that's
Mark.
great. However, my response to that is it's 9:02 in the morning. Is anybody listening to our voices right now having a bad start to the day?
Oh,
I bet there are many. Would y'all like to just go back to bed and give up and forget the day, or are you going to try to do something to make it better? The Chiefs and the 49ers are the two teams in the NFL this year who, on paper, should be a hell of a lot better than they are. Why are the
Dolphins.
Chiefs at home on a primetime game tied with the Giants with 2 minutes to go. What are you doing? What's wrong?
None of the basics.
I don't know what's wrong. Why are they turning it over so much? I don't know. But the Chiefs and the 49ers owe it to themselves. They owe it to their fan bases. They owe it to the process of just life. When things aren't exactly right, try to make them better. Like, that's such a give-up sort of mentality, and I understand that, like, get ready for there's plenty of time for the future. The future is infinite. There's plenty of time.
So forget the losing portion of it, right? Which we all agree, winning, you want to win, right? Like, duh, it's life. You want to win, right?
They want to win is more important.
Exactly, yes. And Kyle specifically.
And let's put the rat on the table 3 hours early. Damon's not a 49er fan. So that's what he should say at the start of all of these rants, because he doesn't speak for the faithful.
I do think there's a small segment of fans that take a short-term loss with Trey, whether that be an actual game loss or not looking good.
I don't think it's a small segment.
To take a step forward down the line.
I think that's a mentality of the culture right now. When people say, you know what, just take the season, take the season, take the season, it's the same mindset here where it's like, let's play Trey, let's be entertained, but let's miss the playoffs for the 17th time in the last 21 years. Well, like, that's a bet. Like,
to me, that's what's called a loser mentality. It's a mentality, and you want them to lose. So based on the transformative properties.
Transitive.
Thank you. I'm still learning.
From one team beating another. Yeah.
Well, so the Niners are better than the Raiders.
Exactly.
Does everybody know that?
The Niners lost. The Bears beat the Raiders.
We ran the math yesterday.
49ers are better than the Raiders. Sorry for all the Raider fans. I don't know if you know that.
If you want them to lose, and that's your mentality, by definition, that's a loser mentality. And I guarantee you, every guy in that locker room wants to win every game. It's the nature of being an alpha male and playing in the NFL. So for me, this whole conversation, and I love Deebo Bruce, it's a non-starter, because those men who strap it on, none of them are thinking, you know what? I wish we were playing Trey right now, even though Jimmy's better, because I want to be better in 2022.
This is even worse than normal, though. The idea of tanking in professional sports, which has taken just leaps and bounds in the last 5 to 7 years. Like, congrats on tanking. It's having a hell of a decade. People love it now.
The Astros are really the only team that's benefited from straight up tanking.
What an even stupider idea for the 49ers. Now they don't have any draft picks for the next 2 years.
I know.
You're tanking for what?
But here's the thing, what I would this is the only nuance that I would say. Me personally, I don't think the drop off from Trey to Jimmy equates to automatic losses left and right. I think that it's somewhere in between. Could you have lost the Bear game? Absolutely. Would you be, if Trey would have started week 1, would you be 3-4? I don't know. Maybe you're 2-5. Maybe you're 1-6. I don't know. Maybe you're 4-4. I don't know.
95.7 The Game breaking news. Brought to you by
I'll back out.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
My bad. My bad.
Langford, I like this hit it, Langford.
BetQL app or visit betql.com today.
I mean, you talked over the sponsor, but, nevertheless. From Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, I see it.
Of the NFL Network. Sources, the Texans are trading young pass rusher Charles Omenihu to the 49ers in exchange for a future late rounder. The former 5th rounder, who has been an intriguing trade name for weeks, has a new landing spot. So, Charles Omenihu to the 49ers.
So, 98% of you have never heard of him, and that's fine. Tank this. That's the message that I just got.
Well, going back to the Texans, Niners and Texans have practiced and had exhibition games for 4 straight years? Not this year, but going before when they had 4 games years, they would always practice against each other. This makes sense, and there's a lot of New England, John Lynch, Adam Peters ties between the two organizations with Caserio. So, interesting. I don't know. We'll see. I guess Ibukam's not the answer.
No, he's not. Ibukam.
I saw Texans and 49ers in on a deal. I'm like, wait a minute. I was waiting for that a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Hey, we wanted Deshaun.
That deal would have gone down had your boy not got caught up in some situations here. What you guys got coming up before we get out of here?
Well, I mean, obviously,
3 hours of Omenihu.
We're gonna, Omenihu.
Damon.
We are hoping by the end of the show, we're hoping to be able to spell it. That's my goal today.
There you go.
Yeah, Jennifer Lee Chan's going to hop in. We're working on a bunch of other stuff, too.
She was a pro wrestler, you know that.
Oh, I've known Jennifer for a long time.
She's great.
Do you know that she's in Southwest Airlines commercials, too?
I know.
You guys are swapping JLC bombs right now. This is great.
JLC